and I decided to get out the Blanton's.
Hey, get the Blatons out. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
love
we're gonna
that.
drink the fancy stuff tonight.
Sounds good. I
We'll
love
see
it.
how toasty Donna gets.
Well, we got to loosen you up to get some juicy tidbits. But I think we have some good stuff tonight because man, we put together a some really good visuals. And did you see the promo for it? Did you like it?
I did. The promo looked absolutely amazing, and I spent like half my morning trying to figure out how in the world to actually share it. So like with like all the information, and so I was like, oh god, yeah. I finally was able to share it. I had like
Awesome.
20 something people look at it, and I've got a couple
Nice.
different people that said that they'll be joining us tonight. So
Nice. I did send it to one of your friends, funeral home Barbie.
okay,
Yeah, yeah. And she accepted, so I was like, that's a good sign.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't get an opportunity to talk to her today, but we will definitely see if she
Yep.
comes around to it.
And we have to remind people, that they can also send us a live message just like we used to do back in the day.
Oh
They
yeah,
can go
that's
to
right.
they can go to the Midnight Media um, IG page, and there they can leave a live voice note and become a part of the show.
Oh sweet.
Yeah, so it's interactive as well. But if people, people are a little trepidatious about that sometimes. They're not like you know, like only like the old stereo people are down to do that. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to get more people to be like, come on, answer us questions.
Well, I was gonna say we're both talkers, like naturally. So
Yeah, don't worry about it.
yeah,
Don't worry
don't
about
worry
it.
about it. Don't worry
Don't worry
about it.
about it. So yeah, yeah. So I guess let's preface this a little bit before we do the intro. So what are we going to talk about? What's important to you? It's the history of erotica part one. There's going to be several um, parts to this. Hopefully,
Mhm.
because we're not going to be able to stick the whole history of how many people fucking who for many thousands of years and how this all started. So I'm looking forward to having several parts. It's not going to be like chronological order, but
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
so
for sure.
what are you
We're
excited?
both like good chaotic. So
What are you excited about talking about?
honestly, probably my favorite part about like the ideas that we've kind of put together is just kind of talking about like a topic that's so taboo to so many people. Um and bringing light to it. You know, like the cultural differences, it's a big one for me. And then also kind of bringing to light, you know, how public erotica used to be. And, you know, kind of how as a society, as it went on and on and on, and as we've grown as a society, we now are to the point to where it's like, ooh, for shame, you know, and there's different communities that are bringing that out. And yeah,
I kind of feel
it's
like also there's we're almost kind of gone full circle. Like there was the 60s, right, and the 70s where people were a lot more sexually liberated and felt like they could talk about it, felt like they could come out of their shell. The repression of the 50s, especially,
Mhm.
um, and all of that kind of set the table for it to be a better experience for people to have sex and enjoy their sexuality in those times. But I feel like it's gotten full circle. Well, the 80s, 90s, the satanic panic of the 80s, and then the
Mhm.
90s, and then here we are in the 20s. And I think we've gone full circle now with people having their repressed feelings come back, and the people who feel like it's important to repress people because of the sake of humanity and things like that, and especially God and whatever they believe. Right.
Religion
I
plays a huge part in
I
it.
feel like it's back in full force.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, there's some religions that genuinely they like they urge people to kind of understand their sexuality more.
Mhm.
And you know, we go as far back as like Cleopatra. She was the first historically documented uh creator of the dildo.
Yeah.
But actually the vibrator. So it's the history of it is so eclectic and so beautiful. And you know, me being Donna, like I love to bring taboo things to the surface and say,
Mhm.
"Hey, let's talk about what makes you feel uncomfortable."
Yeah.
You know, it's beautiful.
It
And
is.
hopefully maybe bring some more people around to it and be like, "Oh, you know, maybe I got a hidden kink in there." So many people are ashamed of their kinks. So maybe that's like my goal is to maybe allow people not to feel so hidden. Maybe they'll feel more comfortable to like come out of their shell and be like, hey, this is my kink. This is a part of me. Yeah, don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah.
What's up, Rocksteady?
Oh, is he in the house? Let's
Mm-hmm.
bring it up. Let's bring up Rocksteady. Let's see what's going on. Hey, my man. My man. Thanks for being here. Everybody who's here. And not only now, but, obviously this is going to be in perpetuity on YouTube. So from this, we'll get YouTube shorts and we'll get smaller clips of the things that might matter and things like that. So from this live stream, there's going to be a whole lot of media coming out of it. So now and in the future, hopefully somebody can peel back their kink and notice like, hey, it's not a bad thing to explore that, right? I feel
Exactly.
like you said, I feel like we're undoing this now again because there's so many people who are activated in the repressed feelings scene. And what I've noticed is, and I know if you noticed this too, a lot of people who are repressed and feel like you can't be a part of your own sexuality and express it have a lot of repression themselves, and they themselves might feel a certain kind of kink that they can't express.
Yeah.
Their family pressures, church pressures, all types of stuff. That everything could be hand in hand if you approach it the right way, right?
From definitely like from like a psychological aspect, like I definitely feel like you just hit like that was the button on the head, or the nail on the head. There you go. That was how you put it. Cool. I'm working from home today, so I'm here for the show with headphones on because the kids are around. Oh yeah, honey, you might definitely want those headphones.
Yep. Donna just put them
not
down.
not trying to educate the children just yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, not yet, but
Not on this.
soon enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we could do like a child friendly episode
Yeah.
of not erotica,
Not
but
erotica.
like
Not erotica. We can do it. We can do some kids. We can get. Sorry. There we go. I don't want that to be shown. Cool. So, oh, great. The magic of editing later. So anyway, yeah. So we could probably do something like that, like a another topic with kids. You bring on yours, Rocksteady, just have like a big old like sing along.
let's sing along.
Big old sing
I don't
song. Hell yeah.
I love to sing.
I know
I
it.
don't know if my voice is quite back yet, but I do love to sing though.
I know it. Okay. So, without further ado, let's do the intro music so we know the podcast is started. And we'll see you on the other side. As so happy for you to be with me, the beautiful hot Donna. We'll see you on the other side. Enjoy the music. Let's see. Where are we at? Aha. There we are. See you on the other side. And here we are. Here it is.
Here we are
Here we are.
once again in the land of the living.
So I want to bring up a couple of things that we were talking about back in the day. So, the history of erotica is longer and more than you'd ever think. People back in the day were
Right.
not saints. People were not repressed. People were doing their thing. Rome, right?
Dude.
What was going on in Rome? These people were getting busy.
Oh god. Okay, so I've been so excited to talk about Cleopatra and her vibrators.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, bring it up.
Yeah. Okay, so I honestly cannot tell you whether or not like the Romans or Cleopatra happened first. But Cleopatra, she used to she had like kind of a weird miniature sarcophagus almost that she would fill bees and then shake it up and create it as like a vibration sensation and then use it for herself.
So you're not,
Which is incredibly inventive.
You said bees. They would put live bees inside of a sarcophagus, and then that would buzz.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right.
Yes. The beautiful Cleopatra, she was an innovator. in the sex world, or the erotic world of things, right? Cleo was an absolute freak. And that's what MD Ultron just said. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bringing him up. Yeah, absolutely. What's up, MD Ultron?
She was an absolute little freaky chick. But that's literally just a part of oh god, you can go back and talk about the Renaissance, like the
Let's stay with
15th century.
let's stay with Egypt
Huh?
for a second. Let's stay with Egypt for a second.
Okay, cool. Let's stay on Egypt. Like I gotta have somebody which get me back in shape, AC.
Yeah, so let's stay there because it's a really interesting period of time because you would think that these people were even more repressed. They had no idea, but really when there's less rules and less people to think about, especially these people
Mm,
were most of them were serfs and people who were slaves. We're talking about the high level people, the people who had all the autonomy, people that can do whatever they wanted. And
mhm.
just like now, you can imagine that rich people are on another level, right? Like we think, like, what could these people possibly be doing? Well, this is what they were doing in a primitive sense, right? So,
Yeah.
um, so the beginning of creation was by masturbation, is what they say. So, the very first Egyptian god was
Really?
Atum, who created himself. He had no wife, so in order to beget his children, Shu and Tefnut, he masturbated apparently. And the term God's hand came to be associated with females over the time. So Atum's hand played the female role in the original creation. So really, we all came from a big old hand nut.
Wow. I was about to say that's like brings like turkey baster fisting like to like a whole nother level, you know?
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah,
Man.
yeah,
Okay. That's a lot to absorb. Like that's there's a lot of imagery there.
yeah.
A lot of
Could you
intrigue.
imagine? This is pornography back in the day. This is like,
Oh wow, look at his penis. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
I love the pictures. Like I love the fact that this stuff like they were just like perusing a castle wall and they were just like, "Oh, over here we have the creation of man and how we all were born,
yeah.
penis ejaculation and fisting."
Well, it says here that wall relief of Alexander the Great and the great Min in the Luxor Temple. We have one of those here in Las Vegas, by the way.
Well, it's dark in this
His phallus is darkened by the pilgrim's hands. So it was just right here, and he was all about it. And it's always an erect phallus. So another god is also known for his permanently erect dick. So this god would always have a permanently erect dick. We should all be so lucky. Nut in hand holds the universe, baby. Hell yeah, damn
Okay,
right about that.
so my curiosity is here. Is okay. Like what we're staring at is two erect males,
Mhm.
um, and one is ejaculating into a cup.
To make life, to make creation.
So
Apparently,
two males made creation according to this hieroglyph.
don't tell anybody. Shh. That's that's you're gonna make people really nervous if they know that there's another way.
If it- oh my God, women, we have a purpose still. I promise.
Well, yeah, I think that
Just
we
temporarily until they figure it out. Don't tell the church.
shh, don't. It's been thousands of years. Don't tell them. We'll spoil the movie. Um, so the god Min was primarily a male fertility god, and
Mhm.
uh, in ancient Egypt, and he permanently erect phallus was he wore a feather headdress. This is all very kind of like androgynous, right? Like female, male. Men suffering from impotence would make offerings to the phallic figurines on the grid of the god, and he would be associated with lettuce, and the Egyptian lettuce emitted while milky sap similar to semen. So it was like all imagery.
Okay.
And if you were bereft of children, or if you really wanted kids, then you were kind of praying to this god and saying, "Please allow me to have the phallus you have. Give me the dick. Give me the dick you got." And then they would symbolize that with a lettuce that secreted like a milky substance that looked like semen.
No, I want to know what this lettuce was called because like I'm eclectic. I like to farm. I like to
I
have
gotta
my
get some of
own.
this.
So I want some Egyptian like semen lettuce. That sounds like a fun thing.
I think we
But
have to call. I think we have to call.
right, right, Allison.
Excuse me, sir. Your balls are showing. Here we go. This
not
is the best one so
not the
far.
phallus, just the balls.
Two
Oh
pharaohs,
my
one
god,
cup.
2 Pharaohs, 1 cup. Yeah. Dude, I have been cracking up laughing at all the comments. Keep them going, guys.
Hell
I
yeah.
love it.
And remember,
Oh.
of course, if you guys want to do a voice note, you totally can. And you can do that at the Midnight Media IG, which is Midnight Media _TV. Right
Yeah.
now.
Work study. I love you, dude.
So in Egypt, also adultery was punishable by death.
So
So
they were monogamous too.
they were monogamous.
Okay.
But shoot forward to Roman times, which we'll talk about in a bit,
Mhm.
they still that was okay. And Rocksteady and I used to do a little podcast called Shotgun Candy,
Mhm.
and there we did Roman gladiators is one of the topics that we talked about.
Okay.
And Roman gladiators had zero issues having sex with each other. In fact, it was training. It was part of the training was actually having anal sex with up to 15 other guys, and it was honestly frowned upon if you didn't do it.
Oh,
It
like
was
found
just
I wonder okay, so did you guys ever find out, like, why, um Rocksteady. Um
it's
Yeah.
not adultery, sir. It's training,
It's
and you'll
training, it's
and you're
training, it's
gay if
training.
you don't train with us.
Yeah, right. You come home to your
I
spouse. It's okay, honey. It was just I was just training today. Um, but
was just training, baby. I love you.
but what do you expect? Like, okay, so back in Egyptian times, right? So, like, what is the dating pool like at this point? You know, because I mean, they're wild, clearly. You know,
Clearly, clearly. How about this? But
like
shooting back to Egypt, look at that. This guy's entering. I would imagine it's a woman. That's a big nipple.
that is a big nipple.
That's a fat ball. That's a fat sack right there. It's really up high.
He
And
must have had a lot
oh
of
no,
letters.
this is his arm. I'm sorry.
What?
Is that his arm? See
Oh, is
that?
he like inside of her with fisting, more
That's a
fisting?
major fisting action. Holy shit.
Apparently, this was a thing. That was their version of the turkey baster at the time. But, like, I love how her head is, like, full 360. Like,
Yeah.
she's like, "Hello." Like,
Go deeper, daddy.
"Yes,
Daddy?
yes, watch this demon
So it
come out."
says, like any society, sex in Egypt did not only take place within the marital context. Extramarital
Oh.
relationships were surely existed, but they were not only frowned upon. You could be punished by death, obviously, because the guy had all the power. It's kind of the same stuff in the Middle Eastern cultures now. Um, a rather sordid affair attested from the village Dia el Medina were workmen who built the tombs. So the people who built the tombs in the Valley of the Kings, those are the people that would have sordid affairs.
That is
She's faking it. She is. She's like, get out of me, dude.
Oh my god.
She's faking it.
I love how on the side, though, like, the hieroglyph writing looks like "go." It's like, "Go fish,
Go.
fish,
Go
fish."
inside me.
Oh, it looks like a butt plug. Look. Like, straight up, like, right above her hand, up to, like, the left a little bit,
Oh, he
like,
does.
straight up to the
Yep.
left.
Right there. Yeah, I
It's
see
like,
it.
"Go fishy, fishy butt plug." Yeah, that's
I see it.
I'm apparently a paleontologist now.
Yeah, you guys and an archaeologist and a paleontologist
There you go.
and a geologist. That's a rock. Who's masturbating? My question is, who's masturbating to this rock? How many people actually went to this rock and was like, "Oh fuck, look how hot this fucking scene is," you know?
I mean, it's pretty spicy, you know, the facial feature, like, of no jawline is kind of a strange turn on with, like, the nuance of the Lord Farquaad hair. It's it's definitely doing it for me, for sure.
But he's reaching into her soul, dude. He's manipulating her guts.
He's getting them up in them guts.
Fuck, he's
All up in
rearranging
them
it.
guts.
Fucking A. So don't if you travel back in time, guys, don't
Mhm.
fuck a married lady. They can kill you.
Who's Egyptian. Or don't be an Egyptian lady if you travel back in time, because apparently you're just gonna get fisted to your stomach, so
Right. Unless you like that kind of thing, in which case, book it. Book that.
go for it. YOLO.
So lots of
Son.
risky shit happened. Especially if you were the king, right? So if you're the king or the pharaoh, you were getting concubines, you were having parties, people were dancing all around you at all time. And it says that you may be familiar with Solomon's song of the songs in the Bible, or not, as it's pretty risque part of the book.
It
And
is actually
you know about that, right?
so the Song of Solomon is actually my favorite book of the Bible. Like,
Really?
I grew up extremely religious, and Song of Solomon was one I consistently begged pastors to like preach on, and they refused to. Refused. They said it was too risque.
It's too spicy. How many spicy parts of the Bible are there, do you think?
Um, I don't know why 8 popped up, but like
About 8.
Ooh.
No, I
Not
did
not
last
8.
night. I did pass by. I didn't save the article, but there were a few articles I saw. It's like the Bible is kind of spicy at times.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah. Yeah, while doing research, mm,
Well, you
yeah.
got incest, right? You got incest, but incest is just what happened.
God,
Um,
yeah. Well, apparently they were not very monogamous. At least the Egyptians had it together, guys. You know, they were at least trying to have some level of pairing going on with all the fisting.
come here, baby. Let me pull that love out of you. But
Much
yeah,
fun with them.
racy depictions of women's body in the Bible and the Book of Solomon did not hold back. And like I was saying, just inadvertently, just the way the Bible is set up, it's
Mhm.
made to be spicy. Just because if you just get to the first part, there was Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, and then after that, people were fucking, right? People were fucking each
Yeah.
other, and that you had to because that's the only way. If they presented an alternate motive, then cool, but that's obviously not what's happening.
Well, and I know we're not talking about marriage right now, but like, well, to a degree, we're because we're talking about monogamy, but like, the Bible pushes monogamy in a way of like, to procreate.
Mhm.
You know, like a marriage is a huge reason, like you have to marry this person in order to procreate with them, or it's incorrect. And so I love that this is being presented like in a non-religious way. Like it's very much just like, hey, these are our rules. Like you do it or you die. We're gonna
Right,
take you to a temple and fuck your soul out of your body, apparently,
right.
because like Rocksteady said, if you don't do it, then it's just gay. So,
If you're not doing it, if you ain't fucking, you gay.
mhm.
So here's a verse from the ancient Egyptians sang similar songs. Here's an excerpt describing a woman's body using imaginative metaphors. So it
Oh,
says,
you wanna give it a shot? You
I
wanna
think
sing a love song
you want
of
to
the
read that?
Egyptian? Do I wanna read it?
Yeah,
Sure. In poetic form.
sure.
The one, the sister without peer, the handsomest of all. She looks like the rising morning star at the start of a happy year, shining bright, fair of skin, lovely the look of her eyes, sweet the speech of her lips. She was not a word too much. Upright neck, shining breast, hair truth, lapis lazuli, arms surpassing gold, fingers like lotus buds, heavy thighs, narrow waist, her legs parade her beauty. With graceful steps, she treads the ground. I can't say the last one.
Oh, captures my heart
Roll
by
me
her
down,
movements.
darling.
There we go.
Captures my heart by her movements. That's
That's
cute.
in the Bible. Fuck, it's in the Bible, baby. That's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible. Yeah.
Egyptologists call this song one of these love songs sung by
Mm.
unmarried lovers. So this is a call to action to please come and do me.
I could see me singing that, like sitting underneath a lotus tree, just fingering myself, like, please come fist me, Dad. No, I'm
One
just kidding.
one
Oh
one
God, that
hand
was
in the air and the
too
other one down
much.
here. Come on. That's a
Come
beautiful.
on, take me
It's
already.
beautiful.
Mm.
The next one is Egyptians liked porn.
Oh, look at this. This is cool. Why are there geese?
Why aren't there geese? Why aren't there geese now?
Oh my God.
You gotta
But
look how big that guy's dick is. Look at left hand, it's really small. Got a big ass dick. Look how big. Jesus,
okay.
the
My
positions.
okay, my curiosity, okay, because like hair pulling is definitely something, most of us enjoy.
Sure.
But the way that they're hair pulling, like, could you imagine grabbing somebody and just like
just, just fucking them up so hard.
like pulling from the front? I mean, I guess like maybe it wouldn't hurt as bad, because sometimes like if you don't know how to wrap and grip.
That's true. If you don't know how to around up there's a way to tangle, and then you might pull it too hard, and then you try to let go, and it's still on your fingers. That's amateur shit.
Now I see the penis you're talking about. It's down
Mhm.
in the bottom right-hand corner. Like,
That's right.
it's holding up the woman by her thighs.
I think
Just by her
people.
thighs.
I think they exaggerated a little bit. I have a feeling that these dicks weren't that big.
I mean, honestly, if a penis was ever that big, the man's heart would not function. Like,
All
he
the
wouldn't have
blood.
made it that far in life.
All the
Let's
blood. Yeah, you're done.
I mean, I like what she's doing. This
This
top
one?
middle one. Ooh, the carriage is kind of neat. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
a rolling carriage. That could be fun.
that is beautiful. And then yeah, lots of animals. Like, and then there's like two dogs playing patty cake, I believe.
I, well, it looks like a monkey and
A monkey and a dog
and then there's a cat driving a miniature carriage.
with a smaller cat.
It is a very small cat. Well, look at the very small man. What are we? There's a little man. A little man.
A little
And there's
man.
okay. Now hold on. There's like another monkey drawing this carriage with like a two-headed person,
Yeah,
or those two separate people,
that might
followed by
be.
the little man. So Egyptian furries. Maybe that's what it
That,
was.
you see what I'm saying? Why are we so chastised now? I'm not a furry, but why are people so chastised for their kinks? There was furries, there was bestiality, there was size queens because those dicks are way too fucking big,
Yeah,
right?
I mean that's intense.
You're looking at acrobatic shit. The person on the second row, the bald guy fucking her, looking like a crossbow. You know.
And again, the hair is grabbed from the front, but only half of the hair.
Well, maybe he knows what he's
So,
doing. Maybe he knows what he's doing. Yes, this
I
isn't his
really
first
want to try
rodeo.
this now. You realize as soon as we're done with this call, like I'm gonna go in the other room and I'm gonna try to grab my hair from the front and just
You just
see what's
get
up.
back and tell us how it worked later on,
Yeah, see
or
what's up.
part two. You let us know how the hair pulling worked. So
Yep.
Egyptian furries, 1000%.
Mhm.
I mean, don't haven't you seen them? They all have like bird beaks, and some of them like they love cats, right? The cats were like the
Oh
major
my
thing.
god, I love the
Tell me,
beasties of
tell me
Egypt.
one time in history, or now or then, where someone who wasn't obsessed with like a cat lady wouldn't want to like be a cat, like a furry. It's the same shit back then. It's human nature.
Cleopatra, her obsession with cats, well, hell, just the Egyptians' obsession with cats in their self.
That's right.
They probably had sex just to appease the cats, honestly. They were like, "Here, let's give another reason to just overly indulge in ourselves sexually."
We love these cats. Can you imagine the smell of cat pee back in ancient Egypt?
It was just I mean, it was probably a little intense, but mm.
Everything smelled like sulfur. It was like a sulfuric kind of a cat pee thing. People were coming in like, "What the fuck is up with this tomb? This tomb fucking smells, bro."
It's probably why there's, like, limestone in random places. It's just
So
gross.
before X-rated websites and before Playboy magazine, there was a Turin erotic papyrus. So papyrus is paper. The papyrus
Yeah.
allows a paunchy, balding, short, and scruffy man having intercourse in some rather improbable positions with a beautiful woman. The purpose of the papyrus is unknown. It may actually be a form of political satire, as a number of vignettes showing the animals and human roles also appear in the same papyrus. No matter what the interpretation is, the Turin erotic papyrus is one of the most important documents that we have to understand ancient Egypt because they were motherfucking freaks.
They were fucking
So it could be satire, as we're satirizing this now, or it could be a real erotic depiction, or it could be both. Man, you can laugh and come.
I mean, you definitely can. I've done it. You can also cry and come. I've done that too.
You've come and cried.
Fuck yeah. Like, it's been, like, such an emotional experience that, like, dude, I had, like, this whole manic episode one time where, like, I started laughing because something just, like, made me laugh, and then I started, like, weeping, and then I went
Wow.
back to laughing, and then I went back to weeping again, and, like, at that point, I would have been done, like, having sex with me, but no, this person did not.
They were like, "Wow, this is amazing. This is running the gamut."
Right? I've resurrected the demon from her soul.
Look at how
Okay.
long religion who follow the Bible was strict on chastity and abstinence. Wonder who decided furries and orgies were no go. People that
Speaking
couldn't
of,
control it. Yeah.
should I do it?
Do what?
Should I do our PSA now?
Go for it. Yeah. Do our PSA.
Our
Let me get rid of
PSA.
this one.
Okay. Mm. La, 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 la. Okay. Are you feeling the heat? It's time to take it to the next level. But before you do, make sure you protect yourself and your partner. Always use protection during sex to reduce the risk of STIs and unwanted pregnancy. Don't let the passion overtake your safety. Keep a supply of condoms or other barrier methods on hand and use them every time you have sex. Remember, condoms provide protection. Yes, I know it's not the most pleasurable, but those kids don't pay for theirself. And let's not forget about foreplay. Kissing, touching, and exploring each other's bodies can be an exciting and pleasurable part of sex, but make sure to avoid any genital contact or exchange of bodily fluids until you're both ready and protected. So, whether you're with a long term partner or a new flame, make sure to prioritize your sexual health and safety. Get tested regularly, communicate with your partner, and have fun. Consensual and safe sex.
This is a sexual PSA brought to you by Hot Donna. Thank you, Hot Donna. He probably wanted to see how much it took to send you the emotional nut. Seriously.
Oh my God, it was
How many
so.
more thrusts will it take for you to fucking just absolutely break down? Just-
I feel like I was there. It was not something I would like to do again. Like it was, it was very relaxing afterwards. Let's just put it that way.
Can I ask, what did you guys talk about it afterwards? Was it like did he ask like why were you fucking crying?
I mean, I kind of was just like, wow, I don't know why that happened. Oh, thanks so much, Ultron. But I was like, I don't know why that happened. That was so weird. I was like, but hey, thanks for keep fucking me. Like, like it was
Thanks for not stopping.
yeah, thanks for not stopping, like you were doing a great job there. So
I hope my head would have gotten huge. I would have been like, I made a bitch cry. I made a bitch laugh. I made a bitch cry again. And I
like all up in
made her
those
come.
emotions,
You call my boys
all
like,
up in those
y'all ain't
emotions.
gonna believe this shit.
Until they realized it was me and they were like, oh, she's a little off anyway.
Oh, it was Hot Donna? Oh shit. Yeah.
Thank you, Ultron.
Yeah. So
The more
let's
you know.
there's a little bit more to talk about with Egypt, but I think we pretty much covered that the fact that they're fucking freaks that love porn and not above satire.
Yeah, they're not.
Um and they love big ass dicks and they're not above homosexuality. Adultery was pretty fucking bad, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, no kidding. They were so open about it. So I mean, there had to be some level of like structure, right? Because but even then, they're like, "Oh, like, okay." But this is still, like, in, like, the higher ups, in Egyptian hierarchy. So it's like, what about the slaves? Ooh, you found oh, 8. I
you said
said
8. You said
I
8 and it was
did.
fucking 8. Fuck yeah, dude. Good fucking job.
Fuck yeah, dad.
Good fucking job. Good fucking job. After we read these passages, we're gonna have to
Check your panties.
Ooh.
So the Bible has some lovely stories about kindness and all that, but let me tell you that it's also about dildos. One of the weirder books in the
And
Bible
still don't.
is Ezekiel, right? God is pissed about Ezekiel's idolatry and immorality, such as all the jewelry that Judah is turning into dildos. I'm sorry, who is described as an adulterous wife prostitute for some reason, and is turning into dildos. So you all you also took the fine jewelry I gave you, the jewelry made by gold and silver, and you made yourself idols and engaged in prostitution with them.
Mhm.
Shit. So fucking yourself with jewels and all that. Talk about so yeah, you were totally right about being 8.
Go to Zell's and just be like, "I would like the finely crusted golden dildo with the sapphires."
Is that what you would do if you had like all the money in the world?
I would have a rose gold one probably.
Yeah.
I prefer rose gold or like a platinum. Platinum would be no. What's the one? Tungsten. Because
Oh,
tungsten is kind of like a beautiful like black color. Yeah, it's a really dark silver. So like tungsten with ooh, I don't know. I'd want one in like all kinds of different colors. Like I would definitely want an emerald and a sapphire for sure.
I feel like it would hurt. I mean, so Chinese in Chinese culture, I looked at a couple of those. And in Chinese culture, I was looking at like dildos made back in the day, and then how horrible they are, made of stone and like limestone and shit like that.
Mhm.
So can you imagine, no KY, nothing, and then that thing's going inside of you? How horny do you have to be? And number two, um, the Chinese culture back in the day would make it. They refined it a bit. It was more jade and like pumice and things like it's some things that
Mhm.
were a little bit softer on the skin. I would imagine on the inside.
But like I don't know. Okay, so like the first toy I ever put inside me was the handle of a screwdriver.
Wow.
Yeah. So like the other day, whenever I was visiting like a local sex store,
Mhm.
I saw they had a hammer dildo, and it was the handle of the hammer was the actual toy, and I was like, "Whoa, do y'all have a screwdriver?" And she just looked at me super strangely and then laughed. It's like you don't even know.
So I know your friends. Okay, so that brings up something else. Let me take this away because it's in the Bible. So now you bring up toys, right? You said handle
Mhm.
of a screwdriver.
Yeah.
Your maybe friends or yourself, family members and things like that. What other things that they would experiment? As a man, I would like to know that. I'm thinking, as a boy, I'm like broomstick handles, fucking cucumbers. What have you heard is popular?
Um, so cucumbers for sure. Yes, I literally screwed myself.
That was low hanging fruit, and that was well done.
Nice, nice one, Ultron. But no, so honestly, um, let's see. I'm trying to think of things that like I've used like squash, like butternut squash, cucumber, ice cubes. I know people have kind of and it was Phillips, by the way. Fuck blackheads. But anyway, so I'm really trying to think. So like the end of the screwdriver, broomsticks? No. I know a really brutal story about a broomstick though. I will not talk about it here, but I will tell you later. Um,
I can only imagine.
yeah. Oh god. I'm really trying to think about like weird stuff that I've done, and that's a lot.
Hey, not only
Um,
you, we're not trying to put you on blast, also, but like if you've heard of anybody like friends or
but I feel
anonymous.
like they're pretty common practice. I do know a girl that tried to like oh god, like this. She tried to use something like this.
Oh God, it's a vacuum. You can't do that.
Yeah, right. But like because of this, which I mean, of course, everybody's saying like the woman that like shoves this up her and then like it breaks and like that was scary.
Right.
Um, but part of the business. It's
Seems a little
risky.
idiotic to do that just because you know that it can break and you can die.
I'm a fix it lady, rock
Mister
steady.
Fix It.
Always and forever. Can you come and fix it
it's a long journey to come fix it.
with my handy dandy toolbox?
Hmm.
I don't know. What are some weird stuff you've heard about? Like,
So my front door neighbor, it's a lesbian couple,
okay.
and she is in the medical field, and she works at a local hospital, and we were having a couple beers one night in our driveway,
Mhm.
and she told me, she's like, what the things that she has to work on, and one of the things that she's like, you have no idea, bless you, you have no idea how many people and how big a part of my job is to pull things out of people's asses.
Oh yeah.
Toy cars, fucking long ass. I think she mentioned bags with like change in them, things like that. Um, hammers, like hammer ends. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But and there were pictures, by the way. She showed me pictures on her phone, and this is all real. It's all real. It's just surprised the fuck out of me. Like these are people. These are not like 25-year-old gay guys who are ready to fucking experience it all.
Just
This is
everybody.
like this is like 60-year-old guys coming in with like
Mhm.
I put it in too far.
Well, I mean, fuck yeah. Like, don't you think like by that point in your life, you're like, okay, what can I do that's a little kinkier than I did last year?
Right.
So it's like, fuck it. We're just gonna shove everything up there. See, but that's also I have a huge collection of butt plugs. Terrified of them. Absolutely terrified of them. And I've talked to ER nurses, and they're like, that's literally like we pull out at least a couple a week. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, see, and so that's my reason why, like, anal beads, great. If they've got like a whole like hook and latch system, you can pull them out, great. But like the things that just have like a knot, they just get sucked up right up in there, no matter how tight you are. Ooh, the
I
crushing
wanted
machine.
to. I wanted to see. I wanted to see. I was expecting that kind of reaction, like, "Ooh, what's that?"
Mhm.
To me, that looks atrocious. Just because, I mean, what it does is, I get it. But like
Machine
from my
gun,
from my
essentially.
perspective, it's like it's gonna blast your ass in a bad way. But there's this has been going back a long time. There's also a steampunk version where it looks very mechanical and old and dusty, where somebody was so horny and so brought to the, obviously, what is it? Creation is the mother of invention, or invention is the mother of necessity, or something like that.
Creation.
So
Yes,
right,
something like that.
how necessary and how fucking horny were you to get in there, tinker, and make the first dildo machine?
I mean
Ah, the Rambo model.
I mean, honestly, I feel like if they hadn't been created, I would probably be the person to create them. Um, like, I would be like, "Okay, enough of this." Like, the other day. They now have dildos that have like built-in thrusters inside of them that
Mm.
actually rotate back and forth, and so it like slides, and then it like thrusts back and forth at the same time. Why? It's like we're gonna really not necessarily need the male race anymore. And apparently
Oh,
the male race doesn't need women anymore because you guys have got all the secrets of how to procreate without, ovaries and uteruses
right.
locked up in hieroglyphs. So
Sure. What's your
exactly.
experience? Have you ever been on a Sibian?
A what?
A Sibian? It's like the kind of this like this thing where you sit on it. This looks like a fucking outdoor grill. What the
I
fuck is
d-
this?
That's why I was like, what are you talking about? It's
This
like
is
I
a
cooked chicken on that.
this is a Sibian. It doesn't necessarily go inside of you. It's a thing like you kind of mount like a. It was big on the Howard Stern show, and he
Yeah,
would invite girls to come on, and then they would sit there, and then the clitoral stimulation, this thing would go crazy. One is like, and the chick would go nuts, and then like 10 is like, it's gonna explode your pussy, right? So
you're
this
gonna
is,
make me want to go buy one.
I can send you this link.
I've always wanted one. Like, I've always wanted one, and I always talk myself out of them because they're so expensive, and it's like, look, you could so use the money somewhere else. Yes,
I
that is
guess so.
definitely for rave parties, Rocksteady.
It's 400 pounds. It supports 400 pounds. This stove, this stove,
400.
400 pounds. It's 7 inches of pure, unadulterated, fucking silicone dick.
Like, where would you hide that? Like, you would need a whole little room for it.
It's in your garage. It's like,
The
oh,
garage.
let's move a couple things there. Oh, just move the dick machine.
Just put a grill cover over it. Nobody would know, right?
That's it. Look at this. How many holes you got? Jesus Christ. The Versa fuck sex machine.
The
There it
Versa
is.
fuck sex machine.
Oh, the
Jeez.
Dictator extreme sex machine. The Dictator.
I like the dictator. I like the sound of that, which brings me to like my next favorite thing in the world, which is dick costumes.
Oh, puppetry of the penis. Oh, look at this. Hold on. Wow. Is that what you're talking about with the mod love thruster?
Mama thruster. No. Hold on.
Oh, 404. You asshole.
Oh my god, I love this. The tongue bar has been so like everybody's different. Like some people, even like with
Oh,
males, some people like different forms of stimulation and things like that. And I think women like they're either internal or they're external. And it's even like different things do it for you. And it blows my mind how oh god, look at the penis sleeve. Hold on, look at that. Beginner butt plugs. I love it. That's a beginner. It's definitely like a beginner to furries. Oh, I love that bed.
yeah. These are BDSM beds, which is weird.
Oh
And
my god.
so these are, so
I
it's
love
specifically
it.
made to like tie people up to, right? And then what's the
Mhm.
difference? This is a sex swing. I feel like it's a dungeon bed. This belongs in
Yep,
Rocksteady's house.
that is a complete
It's Rock's dungeon.
what
What
about the
about AI
nipple?
dildos? They're so smart; they know how to fuck themselves. You're not. I think you're onto something, Rock, because there are app operated dildos now that actually do stimulation depending on what you do on the app. So it's all Wi-Fi controlled. The toaster, the
What?
refrigerator, the dildo, everything's together on the Wi-Fi.
That's just everything. Like when somebody tries to connect, they're like, "Oh, what's this? What what's
Just
mommy
imagine somebody
disclosure?"
comes over, just tries to connect, and like you're in the other room, and she puts it on like 17.
They're just thinking they're turning up the TV, and they're just out there like trying to fucking get them to stop, like just walking in the room.
Made to order knee rests. Is a spanking bench?
I
Yes.
mean, you could just go to like a Catholic church and steal a pew,
Right.
like one of those kneeling pews. It's so much cheaper.
Speaking of stealing, look at that. Oh, is that, I think it's called like there's something called the Liberator as well. And the Liberator.
17.
Wait, hold on. This one's first. It can't belong in my house because nothing escapes my dungeon.
Ooh,
Hello.
dang,
17 is for pussies. Pussy ass. That's true.
pussy bitch. I love
So
the face strap-ons. Like, it's so cool. Sorry, I'm like keep looking at all the ads on the
we're
side.
just shopping for you.
I mean,
What's a
we are.
BDSM bed? Reasons why. What's a BDSM? A BDSM bed is a piece of furniture designed to enhance your BDSM activities. BDSM bed has several features that make it perfect for bondage and BDSM activities. Some of these include, so some of the features are bed is large and sturdy, so you can fuck the crap out of it and never break it. Perfect for bondage and restraint. Footboards, bondage and restraint again. Multiple people at the same time, so it's made for parties. It's an orgy bed. Most
And
beds have locks on them securely in place, even if another person is moving it. That's
my
facts.
bed is made of wood. Like, I know. Okay. Oh, that's actually really pretty. My bed is made out of rough cut wood,
Mhm.
and it's beautiful. I love her. But because of her rough cutness, she gets super squeaky super quick. So, like, I have to constantly tighten it up.
Right, because there's no like hiding it. Like, hey, let's go have a quickie in bed. The kids are over there. Let's go have a quickie. It's like,
Oh, a quick secret, if people do not know this, is instead of laying longwise on the bed, go across it.
I
Yeah.
love this guy.
Well, imagine my husband probably order because of Bluetooth toys. Alexa,
Alexa, fuck me harder.
right? Yes. Oh God, you could. Ooh, so I guess I can say this because my most of my home is like controlled by Google products, and my Google name is Mistress of the House.
Oh,
So like it literally, and anytime I'd be like, "Hey Google, do this," I'm trying not to have my it all started responding. But if I'm like, "Hey Google, set my timer for 10 minutes," it's like, "Yes, mistress of the house," and I'm like, "Yeah, bitch."
God,
Like it's
you do
so
the
oh
fuck.
my
So
god,
dom. You're so dom about it.
look at that bed.
It looks like vampires sleep there and fuck each other in there.
God, I will be that vampire with that male chastity belt.
Fucking
Like,
A.
whew, I could hang up my whips and shit at the end of it. Okay, hold on. Where? How much is that bed?
Let's see.
Um,
Smaller versions. There's more like
ooh.
kind of durability cons, cost, space requirements, risk of injury. There's a risk of injury, guys. It might not be appropriate for beginners. Beginners what? Like beginner like putting somebody on a
On a
handcuffs
bed.
on the bed. You're like,
You may not be able to sleep on this bed if you were a beginner sleeper. Yes.
this can get okay. So let's see. Let's try to order one.
Okay, cool. Cool, I dig it.
I don't know what she's wearing, and I don't want to make. I want to make sure this is okay to show. Oh yeah, there are naked people here. I can show that. Okay. Let's just say that the bed that you like. Okay. Let me try to use my words because so there are naked people here. So there's things. It's like a big X. It's almost like a crucifix, but an X instead.
It's
And
called a Jacob's cross?
St. Andrew's
St. Andrew's cross, that's
cross.
what it is.
Yeah, and then people get tied up in there. There's also like a small like cage dungeon. She's naked. I wish I could show it. And
Apparently Rocksteady has that in his house.
so I would say that the beds. Some of the things are between $1,500. Oh my god,
Dude,
that's so complicated. Wow, I wish you could see this. What is a? Oh god,
I'm
no
so
way.
jealous that he gets to see all this.
Oh my god, I'm blown away right now. I'm sorry. Maybe I can do this really quick. Just this part. One sec.
What are you staring at?
This is blowing my fucking mind. One sec.
Okay.
One sec. I want to make this happen for you, everyone. Everyone.
He's gonna make it
I'm
happen,
gonna make it
Captain.
fucking happen. Make it happen.
Do me
Watch
and my
this.
best Austin Powers. Alexa, do I make you horny? Do I make you randy?
There it is.
Oh, the latex back bed.
What the fuck is that?
Dude, people are like super into like latex vac suits. I
You've done
no,
that?
no, I'm too dommy for that. Like
I'm
that
fucking
is like complete control over like you are giving
your
someone
hair.
full submission. Yeah, like full submission. Oh yeah, there's some that are like full vac suits that even have the nose and like mouth covered.
Mm.
And you have to wait for your dom to actually cut open the mouth and like allow you to breathe.
That is the fucking ultimate, like relinquishing your power to somebody.
Yeah, so there's like these still straws that they'll shove in there, and then there's like sills around the straws that you can put in so they can like have like a breathing hole. But even
Mm.
then, like you have to really trust somebody because you have to regulate your breathing, and I'm too dommy mommy for that.
I get you. Okay.
Yeah,
Would you do that to someone?
yeah, in the right circumstance, I would.
I feel like it's a lot of pressure, right? No pun intended. Like, I feel like it's a lot of like, you might kill someone, or you might, I don't know. I guess it could happen if you're choking somebody out, and you can autoerotic asphyxiate them. I suppose.
Well, yeah, okay, so like okay, so the autoerotic. erotic asphyxiation. Who the hell is Dom and why does he sound like such an abusive asshole? Because I
Uh,
am an abusive asshole when it comes to sexual stuff.
People
I feel
actually look her up for that. So, some people actually want to be like, I'm tired of fucking normal. I want somebody to tell me what to do, how to do it, where to pump, how to hit, you know?
mm-hmm. Right there. Don't forget to poke holes for your gimp. That's BDSM 101. You've got to.
That's another one. That's another PSA brought to you by
Mm-mm. Indeed.
brought to
Oh,
you by
God.
our friends.
Right.
Um, so yeah, now that we're on in conclusion, the bed was $4,000 about. That's for a starter bed.
That's it.
Yeah.
Was that the black one?
It's the one with all
The
the
black vampire
starter
bed?
one, but no, the black vampire bed was
Oh,
much, much more than that. That's all like
they're like
leather
10 grand.
probably. I had to search more. I was afraid to move the page. As I knew it. As soon as I went to the page, there was a chick with a fucking ball. With a fucking ball gag like that with her tits out.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Can't show full nudity on here. Some
Oh.
people want to be.
So I'll see you guys on Rumble. We can we can do it. I don't know if they can do it there either. But let's see. Now that we're talking about sex toys, oh,
Yes, the steampunk. Like, this makes me want to go do cosplay, like steampunk cosplay. Hardcore. And there's that J dildo you were talking about.
yeah, that's that J dildo. It could be unsettling to thinking about your grandmother and grandfather having sex, or heaven forbid, a vibrator. but ancestors did fuck also, and they definitely had toys, and here they are. Some of these are in a museum, and I'm also going to go into. I mentioned this to you, I think last night, but my dad is or was an advertising executive,
Mm-hmm.
and one of his campaigns that he did was to go to and visit and kind of when you're an artist and we're trying to make an ad campaign visually, you have to see what you're doing. You have to meet the people, kind of get a feel for it. He went and he was commissioned to do the advertising for the World Erotic Art Museum, which is called Weem, and it's on Miami Beach.
I want to go so bad. You did tell
And
me about this. And
it's
man,
never seen more rows of dicks, different dicks, rooms of dicks, pussies, just everything, phallus everywhere, every kind of pussy, every kind of anything that you wanted to see. There was an exhibit for it. And finally, when it opened up, we went to the grand opening, and it's awesome to see, like, it was on Miami Beach, so it was an easier sell than
mhm.
doing it in fucking I don't know, the middle of the country or whatever. But it was amazing to
From
see so
bread.
much ancient shit like this.
Sorry, at the beginning, from bread dildos and beyond. Some people want to be told what to do. I'm cool. Thanks. I have a wife already.
Seriously, that's
I
all I
mean,
need. That's
but
all I need.
honey, honestly though, there's a thing called a switch rock study. I don't know if you know much about that, but so a switch is somebody that can be a dom or a sub, and it really depends on the other one's personality.
Switch hitter.
I'm definitely a switch for sure.
What do
But
you prefer though? You know, you prefer you if you need to just start. You're like, you know what? I'll start with the dom.
um it depends on the person. Like I've always been a people person, so I can just read people. Um, but it's like top switch. See, yeah,
Top golf.
top. Yeah, getting a little reach around there.
Yeah, power
Now
bottom. Power bottom.
a power bottom. There you go. So, but yeah, no. So I'm such like a power hungry person that I'm kind of dominant in life. And so, like, sexually, yes, I enjoy it, but at the same time, like, I really do enjoy being able to be, like, submissive to, like, the right person.
Right.
Now, I would never be, like, fully submissive to, like, latex suit, but, like, just being told what to do, like, all of that stuff just really excites me because if it's, like, if I respect you enough to sit there and listen to you in that way, you say power bottom and
And there's
I
a big ass dick on the screen, so welcome,
erect.
baby.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
There you
you know how we do here.
Mhm.
What's up? What's up? Thank you for coming.
What's up?
So yes, I understand that,
Yeah.
and just the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, and everything. It's hard for me to picture you being super submissive for long. It'd be like a
Yeah.
nice novelty, but I don't. I feel
Much.
like you'd retake that really soon and be like, "Shut the fuck up, bitch! I fuck you."
Oh, yeah, stick your thumb in your ear now. Oh, look, we both did
I
Yeah,
did
no.
it. That's hot.
Does that make us submissive?
You say power bottom. So this is a bronze dildo with a ring attached to it.
What bronze? I thought it was jade. It's kind of. Oh, never mind. Bronze turns green.
Yep. Maybe it's a strap.
Ooh,
Maybe it's a strap on because it had a ring attached. It was
it
found
is
inside
a
of a
ring.
tomb of an aristocrat. Yeah, in the tiny city of Yinzhang. Judging by the
Oh,
materials, its intricate details used to creating this relic, Chinese considered sex toys an art form. But yeah, everything. I mean, everything is kind of gilded and beautiful when it got to their culture.
hmm.
I am the captain now. I will do it. I'll do it again. Just tell me what to do. Stick your finger in your ear. Trying to be Dom from the other side.
He is. They are.
Well, there's a keychain just in case you run out of the house without grabbing your keys. You always have that with you.
Just your handy dandy dildo.
It's a butt plug.
Oh, it is a butt plug. Well, how would they know? Okay, maybe they were worried about maybe at that point in history they did not know that a uterus existed with a closed off cervix, and they just thought they needed an easy thing, with the fisting that we experienced earlier.
Right.
Maybe that's why the guy was so far up there inside of her was trying to retrieve, the dildo.
They actually believe, like some of the researchers believe that the butt plugs were actually used to seal certain orifices in corpses and maintain the body's chi. They believe that there's obviously a life energy inside of you, and in turn, I could see how that can make sense. Where you want to keep the chi inside of the vessel as long as possible by popping them. One of the things.
But did they have to make it look like a penis? Like that's, they could have made it look like
I would have that in my apartment.
door
Just like
knocker now, like that.
make everyone like no matter who grab a big ass dick and just bump bump. Who is it? Just make you wait out there for a long time. Who is it?
I'm like, hello.
Hello.
We didn't hear you. Can you knock louder? This is the coolest one I think that I've seen because
Ancient
like
Greece.
I'm super curious
It's
about
got
it.
veins in it.
Yeah, like super big vein. I wonder if their veins were bigger
Thick
back then.
Roman, thick Grecian veins.
I like the shape of it. It's a nice little keep the chi inside of the V.
Do you think that that was definitely cut off? Do you think it was much longer?
um, Probably yeah, for sure. Because like, well, I mean, you got to think about like from a curvature standpoint, right?
Mhm.
So I feel like it would have went upward, just it probably by like maybe 3 inches.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a horny woman living in ancient Greece, you probably didn't have a slew of sex shops downtown, but you did have plenty of bread, which could be fashioned into a perfect bread dildo. Folks living back in
Well,
those days reportedly didn't identify as heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual. They just indulged in whatever pleasure they wanted, and that was the beauty. It was an erotic smoky pipe. If that was
um,
the last pipe on Earth, and I wanted to get high, I'm not sure if I would be able to fucking do that. I'd rather
well,
eat.
420, is tomorrow.
They just indulged these fucking
January
people.
4th.
They did not give a shit. So according to Vicky Leon, the author of The Joy of Sexes, Sex in the Ancient World, a biodegradable sexual aid, which made them responsible, sexy people. So biodegradable, it was bread.
Like, bruh, that is. I wonder if I would be allergic to bread dildos.
Why you're
Me
allergic to
also
gluten? Are you
having
gluten allergies?
no, but I am an eclectic bread maker, so now I really want to find like a recipe for a bread dildo and just see if I can do it. Because it's like hollow.
Yeah.
So like I wonder if they use like a mold and then they use like a hot furnace to like kind of get it to,
Set.
yeah.
It's pretty perfectly done. I mean, except for the whole, obviously it's ancient, but like that right there, that's pretty well done. If you're doing that by hand and you don't have a mold and you're adding like veins, like it's pretty fucking good.
I'm so-
If I ever get caught, I'm gonna be like, you didn't want my chi to escape.
This is why bread never lasts in my house.
Oh, I love you people tonight are fucking hilarious, dude. Fucking chat is taking over. Here it is.
Ooh,
Here's the
the
thing that everybody needed to see. 1869. The person that I said earlier had the inventive streak that was like, I need shit in my ass, and I will make a machine that does that
look at this shit. Like it's got like bumps, like
for her pleasure.
for his probably.
For his, probably. Yeah, you're right. It was a.
Look at
You think this
this.
was a guy?
If anything, I feel like men were like the head inventors on majority of the stuff. You know, the woman probably came up with the bread before it got there. And it's a coffee maker. Hey, dual purpose.
It makes the most perfect drip coffee you've ever seen in your life.
Oh my god.
Let's do
What?
this. Let's change up. I wanted them to be able to see themselves chatting because there's so many chatters. Let's see. Let's change up the way this looks. Oh, really quick. And let's bring up the chat so they can see it as well. Chat overlay. Here we go. Cool.
There you go.
Keep them coming, guys.
Keep it
So now
coming.
we can see ya.
So the event of the day after the statement. Yeah, some man was just looking at it and was like, you know what? That looks really nice, but it would look even better with a dildo on the end of it. Like, we can reinvent.
The day after the steam engine, the guy was like, "What else can we make with this? I've got it. I
Yeah,
know exactly what we're gonna do.
it's gonna fit in my ass.
It's gonna fit my ass." The steam-powered manipulator, also known as the hand crank vibrator, ever God, years before electricity would truly change the game, American physician, you got it, George Taylor came up with this unique, utterly frightening design, which consists of a dildo attached to a steam engine that produced vibrations. You've got to give it credit where credit is due. Unlike many vibrators that would come after this one, there's no way you can pass off this beauty. It was honest about its intentions, and it just wanted to make
Right?
you come. That's what it was. Yeah.
How many
Um,
people did this kill? Like,
it's
right?
it's important to remember that a device like this one wasn't created with a female orgasm in mind. The goal back in those days was to help alleviate hysteria in women. And by hysteria, they meant sexual frustration, but it would be decades before those words would be used. So this is exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's
So,
going on.
yeah,
That's
they used to
exactly.
drug up women with opioids and masturbate them.
How many people did this kill? Great fucking question. I'd love
Right?
to know that. I'd love to know that. It's so rusty and old and a steam engine with like a bike chain
Right?
and pressure valves and shit. Holy shit, guys.
I mean, nowadays it would probably kill somebody with like giving like tetanus or something. But like, Jesus, that is it's. I can't get over the fact they made it red.
Yeah.
Did the
What color
squirt
should we make
cover?
it? Cherry red.
It
Vader,
probably
what's up, man?
dude.
Oh
Yo,
man, what's going
hey
on,
Vader.
dude? The Vader 66. He's finally made the broadcast. Pleasure to have you.
This is how Edison got more time to invent genius. I wonder if Edison ever created a sexual toy.
Well, Edison, I know, was a freak himself, right?
Yeah, like a super freak.
Super freak. Super
So
freaking meow.
super freaky.
This is how Edison got more time to invent. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. So that's it, man. That's a steam powered fucking dildo. It was obviously made by a guy. He was a physician, so he had, bodily things in mind. It's not like
Yeah.
he just put this together in his garage. He thought about this. He was a doctor. This is live. I've been trying to figure this stuff out. Oh yeah, it's live, dude. Yeah, it's a great way to come see us and also share the screen. So we do more of a visual thing, Vader. I know we met on stereo, but this it's always what I wanted to do, which is like share screens, talk to my friends, and roast shit. That's ridiculous with my people in chat and my guests. It's like the dream come true.
Right.
So welcome, man. You can
Wonderful.
yeah, take as long as you need to figure it out. It is cool. Oh, here we go. Hello.
So it said that he's rumored to have created his own sex toy. Oh, what is this?
So I looked this up. This is it's a doctor, Makara's
Right.
Pulsicon hand vibrator. It's a hand crank vibrator.
So you do this, and it's got like a little suction cup that's like bloop, bloop, like
It's just made
you
straight up for
know.
clitoral stimulation. I would imagine, right? It's just like a plunger on your clitoris, like a tiny jackhammer, like a hand cranked.
Tiny little jackhammer. Oh, guys, remember that you can actually leave audio notes to us if
Mhm.
you go to Midnight Media's IG and message them there.
Yep. If you go to my IG, anybody who follows me there, if not, it's at midnight media underscore TV. You can leave us up to a 1 minute voice note and tell us how if you would try any of these out today, or if you needed me to shoot you a link, maybe they got these on Amazon.
Nice.
So
Right.
the Pulsicon hand vibrator was one of the more advanced hand crank vibrators. Advanced, by the way. 1880s sold through the 1900s. It may look like a torture device, but this handheld vibrator was capable of delivering 5,000 vibrations per minute, which is a lot. Now we need 10 million. Of course, it's required a lot more effort than modern vibrators. You had to hold one end and then place the other on your body, then manually crank the crank handle. The vibrator was marketed as a DIY cure for illness. Oh, and of course, to combat female hysteria, which was horniness. Just fuck your wife. Like none of this would have
Right.
happened if you would have just let them masturbate, them talk about sex, or fucking actually fuck them the right way. Not just until you come, until they come. For the love
Exactly.
of God.
Well, and how they didn't even figure that out until like what, like the 60s? Like 50s, 60s that really like the woman was not being like well taken care of. So like
It's true.
okay,
You're
I
just
guess I
cranking
didn't
that
even
thing
have
up.
a private affair.
Go to bed, kids. Crank, 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 crank.
Oh my god. Jesus. But no, if you think about it though, it's like how do we go from like ancient Egypt, okay, where somebody is like everybody is like so like it's a cultural norm, right?
Yeah.
To like we get so oh, religious persecution, sorry. Okay, so like you get to the point where religion really takes over in the modern world and then it's, women and men sleep separate and I mean think about it. And they end up getting in separate beds and things like that, and now women are hysterical, because they're not getting their needs met. If only they knew that there's no way to cure female hysteria, especially with me, because apparently I just break down crying and laughing
Yeah.
manically.
It was
So
right before you came. We were talked about a time that she was. I asked her if she ever like cried and had an orgasm, or she's like, I cried, I laughed, I cried, I laughed, I came, I cried, I laughed.
I don't even like crying, like, it was weeping, like, I mean,
Oh God!
it was so bad, like, it was so bad, and then I would laugh until, like, I would start crying again, and it would just, like, transition back over. It was so weird.
And then I remember I was coming. Ah!
Yeah.
So,
Dude.
yeah, dude, like, female hysteria, and that should say so much right there. Like, female
Mhm.
hysteria is such a fucking old school, repressed man fucking term where it's like, oh, look at her, she's being hysterical. The problem is, buddy, your dick ain't big and you don't know how to use it.
Right?
And then when you try to fuck her, you're not making her come.
Look,
Let's
it's
get the voice message, baby.
ooh,
Oh, here we go.
voice
Let's
message.
listen to the voice message. Let's bring this up and let's try. Let's go.
People
Can you hear that?
I
are
could for like
still
a second.
like digging holes with shovels, hand churning their own butter, riding horses, but so that made the steam powered dildo contraption like the most advanced piece of technology in the house,
Yeah.
right?
The butter churner, the make a sandwicher. Like did you make like a exactly? And imagine, guys. I just thought about something. Is that a plunger on the bottom that you put on the floor, and then the dildo goes up, and then you crank it like that? Is that
Oh,
what's going on?
shit, I didn't even think about that. Like, I thought that the plunger was like I thought that was a handle for, like that you wound up and then the plunger went inside of you.
Right.
But that actually feels more comfortable the other way.
Okay. Look at this here. Look at the the little manuscript they give you. Like
Yeah, see,
please
the
refer to the direction.
manuscript. It's just the instructions. I couldn't even think. I almost said to-do list. Look at me being a suppressed woman.
So that's 1880s to 1900s, and then we have 1900s to 1920s. They kind of they repackaged it a little bit, they refined it, and they called it the Makara's blood circulator.
Sorry. The blood circulator. That's what they called it.
He improved on the
Blood
model. He got the next generation called the blood circulator. Similar to the original, this was a hand crank vibrator with a little something extra. The vibrator, which you would place directly in your body, featured applicators that would screw into the center of the device so you could manually increase the vibrations and have more control over how powerful a vibration you wanted.
That is it. I mean,
Horrific. It's horrific.
I don't know. I feel like I would try it though,
Yeah.
Like I I definitely feel like I would try it.
You would try that?
Fuck yeah, I would. The black one though. I prefer black.
What about this one?
I mean,
Don't you want that?
YOLO.
Do you want a fat load of tetanus inside of you?
Salad with goodness.
It's
Or
like
you just come like copper rust colored. Like like
like shitty water.
shitty water. Yeah, just look like I just shit all over myself, like coming out of my
I
actual
just can't. I just came so hard with the shitty water on me.
Just your period, always. Always
Yeah,
is.
dude. So that's vibrators of the turn of the century and back in the 1800s. So you don't know how fucking good we got it. You really don't.
I mean, I definitely, I I know that women are not so persecuted as what we once were. Like, I always got my handy dandy Hitachi wand that I mentioned so much on my old podcast. Always, on my left side of my bed. And you can literally drop ship a freaking dildo any time of the day now. So yeah, I feel like we definitely,
Yeah,
have
it's
it a
true.
lot easier.
That's true.
For sure.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a message from Rocksteady. Let's see where we are.
Ooh.
Of course, I never thought about that. The steam-powered dildo. Apparently, there was a lot of injuries from that because the women used to get horrifically burned with third-degree burns, and it would keep their vag in a bad state of infection and the wound open. It's kind of perfect for a transgender male that's gone to female to keep your vag open.
Jesus Christ. and
Oh.
this is why I love live streams, because this is what it's all about, baby. This is what it's
Oh.
all about. And my friends are awesome. My friends are awesome, and they're extremely intelligent, and they leave the best voicemails. I love it,
Dude.
and everyone's encouraged to do that. Anybody who wants to be a part of this can. If you feel that strongly about sex and you want your voice to be heard, I will play it.
Oh my God.
And Hot Donna will listen.
I will listen very intently and maybe judge you just a little bit. Oh, by the way, for people that were here not in the beginning, if you're a bourbon fan, I'm drinking from the lovely Blanton's tonight. Not sponsored, but I should be, because I drink way too much bourbon.
Blanton's is one of the best bourbons ever made. It is several bottles have gone down with me and myself and my brother. My brother's a huge bourbon guy, and I've in the last 6 years I've gotten into it, and we have a lot in common because we like to get drunk the same way.
Foresters and Green River are my favorite, but
That's the other one I want to try, which is local to.
I had Blanton's and Basil Hayden just chilling out on the counter, so I grabbed the most expensive.
Cheers, love.
Felt a little bougie tonight.
Cheers, Hot Donna. If anybody else is drinking something, cheers to you guys too.
Yeah, cheers. My big ass pink cup.
Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, 13 obscure sex acts you might not know. Oh, okay.
Before we go in there, I want to ask you. Let's make it a little personal. What do you? How do I ask this without being vulgar? What are your out of the norm sex acts that you might enjoy?
Okay, so if you know me, right? I very openly talk about the fact that I always wanted a strap on, and I finally got one. Because food play is like intensely like a huge turn on to me. So yeah, I have this whole I don't know, idea in my head that like I want to fuck like banana pudding or like a tiramisu, right? With my strap on. And I don't care if it's female, male, whatever you identify as. I just want to watch somebody suck my dick. Like as a woman. Hentai. Fuck yeah, hentai, man. I'm gonna tell you what. Porn, that's whenever porn got like really interesting to me, was the first time I watched like this soccer coach just get all of her orifices filled by like octopus tentacles. So like I pride myself on being a little abnormal. In that like I'm a little slightly taboo. But I don't really meet like too many people that are into food play. There might be people that like want to invite whipped cream into the bedroom, or maybe a couple cherries or something like that. Yeah, food play. But like me, I love to cook. I love to grow my own food, and it's like, to
Yeah.
me, it's such an intimate thing to, like, cook with your partner, and, like, I want to, like, cook with the person and just, I don't know, get, like, super, like, heated, and honestly, just, like, having, like, food rubbed into my body and, like, filling that with another person, like, it's just, really stuck in sneak a turkey oven.
Hold on a
Yeah.
second though. But food sex gets a little crazy because there's a couple things like mango sex, which is sticky as fucking gross.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things like I probably wouldn't want to do, like chocolate pudding. Would
Mhm.
probably be one that I don't want to do. Let me know in the chat the things that you wouldn't want to have food sex with the worst possible food sex that you can possibly have.
A hot wing. I would not do a hot wing. Do you
Oh,
get
and just like
consent
rub it into your
first?
eyes and your genitals, like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
atomic sauce in my dick.
I've literally been fingered from somebody after they ate, like, the spiciest wings at,
No,
B-dubs.
no.
Dude,
How the fuck
no.
would you do that?
I mean, they swore up and
Not
down they washed their hands good enough. It was gotta be up underneath their nail bed or something that was really spicy. Just hit it with the element of surprise. Fuck yes, I do. I just look at it and, like, I eat it and it thinks it's all good and its day's gonna be normal, and then just bam. Yeah, just bam. Fingers and dildos, and it has to exist
I feel like that was a bit
normal.
irresponsible. Like if I take it seriously. So if I was to be like, all right, let's go in the car and and fuck around. After, like, I wouldn't go to like eat Thai or hot wings or
Mhm.
masala or something that's really fucking really hot.
So
And then I would be thinking about that. I'm like, whoa, I'm gonna finger her later. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna eat like Ethiopian food like with your hands and then later on just get in there. That doesn't
right,
make
well,
sense.
you're just
But
respectful. I'm a clean
yeah,
guy.
I'd take you to like sweet tomatoes. You
Uncooked dry rice.
know, I'm a clean kind of guy, so I would have to stick with uncooked dry rice. There we go.
Oh.
Uncooked dry rice sex. Just-
Ooh, eat a full roast beef Wellington off my chest. See, I mean,
oh,
things like that sound, like, but can I cut it? Because, like, the whole okay, so that's another part of the food play, right? Is, like, if you do something like that, we're gonna be, like, cut up, it's a level of trust, because if I'm cutting something, like, directly off of skin, you know, it's this person trust me to not hurt them, in that way, and so to me, like, trust and respect is, like, so sexy, and I think that's also, like, the beauty of being, like, more of a dominant side, is whenever somebody, like, submits to you to any level, it gives you it gives me the sense of, like, pleasure from the fact that they're being, like, ultimately submissive to me, like, they trust me, they respect me enough to be like, "Okay, like, I trust you with my life, I trust you with my vulnerabilities, like, I trust that you're not going to hurt me."
right. That's the biggest
Like,
thing.
it's a very consensual thing, and I love it, like, that emotional depth to it.
Right. And that's the huge part about it. And that's on a serious tip. You have to trust people so much. I
Yeah,
mean,
you do.
I trust that you didn't order atomic sauce and then finger me. I I
Right.
trust that you didn't, like you're not going to hurt
Paper
me in any
culture.
way. That's why they're safe words, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't really have a safe word.
I was going to
So,
ask you what that was.
um, I did make somebody one time write out consent. Aw, love you too, sweetie. Aren't you? Can I throw a pot of freshly cooked pumpkin soup all over your baby? Oh,
Tepid
what?
butternut squash, tepid butternut squash soup all over your body.
I mean, yeah, I would be down for it. Like, if, um,
What about Nutella?
well, yeah, I don't have a nut allergy, so I just,
Would
you
you
know,
allow
um,
would you allow someone to come in your cereal?
yeah,
Okay.
like,
Okay.
love you too.
Hi,
Um,
Sistino, what's up? Welcome to the show.
so okay, so this was a question, and we can ask, everybody here.
Mhm.
Everybody, if you're listening, I wanna know your
No.
number, right?
Mhm.
Um, my spouse the other day, um, brought this up to me of how much money would it take you to eat just one scoop of cereal, okay, out of somebody's butthole. Like if they open it up with like the clamps that they use, like a gynecologist has, right?
Okay.
And they open up the butthole, they pour milk in it and a little bit of cereal.
Right.
Like, how much money would it take for you to eat out just one scoop of cereal?
Who's butthole?
Another guy. For
Mm,
guys, another guy. For girls, another girl.
that's not fair. I feel like girls are more. They'll be like, "Oh, cool," but for guys, it's a little bit different. We're talking about life-changing amounts of money for me to eat one scoop of cereal out of a man's ass. I mean, I'm talking about life-changing.
Okay, like what? What's your number?
Any number I'll say is going to come off gay. So,
Hey,
so
8K if it's got milk, 6K if it's dry.
here we go.
There you go.
I love that. That's like numbers are like, you know what? I thought about this, and these are my numbers. This is what I'm comfortable with.
You're welcome there.
Okay, I would tell you a life-changing amount of. So one scoop, like 1 tablespoon.
Yeah, just one scoop.
$50,000.
50. That's
Mhm.
a big number.
Is it? Give me a second.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Okay. So like honestly, my number would probably be more like 2,000-3,000. Just for the simple fact that, like, and this was the point that my spouse made, is that if you do it as soon as the cereal hits it, right? Like, you're not getting any nasty part of it because it's all open.
Good one. Yep. I like him. He makes sense. And that's the things I was trying to work out in my mind. I'm like, how goopy is it? How many particles are in there? There has to be a scale. Because, someone who just
Mhm.
is off like a diarrhea kind of a thing, all the way into like I have a lot of fiber. Yeah.
You're on my nightly bowl of cinnamon toast crunch things. You're welcome. But like, okay,
So
but so what made it different for you? Because I said that it would have to be a male for you.
because I eat ass. I eat a girl's ass, no problem. And I
Okay.
would probably do. I'd pay her $50 to eat it out of her ass. So that
Okay,
makes
so
it.
50 out of the females and 50K for a male.
Uh, I'd have to be presented to it. It might be lower. It might be lower. Yeah, exactly. There you go. If it's a hairy butthole, $100 million. Give me a fucking spoon. But yeah, 50K. No way, bro. You're a cheap hooker. It's true. You're a cheap ass bitch. But show me an ass I want to eat. Show me an ass I want to eat. Give me a spoon, boo. I'm eating. You know.
I love how Call Me said double the money if it's a hairy butthole. Look, so okay,
You're
but like women
raging
can even
homo.
have hairy. So it's like, because the inside's not going to be hairy, right? So like, just like,
No, the inside's gonna be shitty.
well, I mean, but if it's hairy though, okay. Well, what I'm getting at with the hair part of it, okay, just
Uh,
like
get
on
you.
a phallus, right? So like you have hair at the base of it, but it can't grow up it. You might occasionally get a random hair, like boobs randomly get like a little hair or something around hormonal time, and you just got to pick it out. But
Oh, I
like,
love that. Just pull it
yeah,
out.
with your teeth, just rip that shit out. But like, I love how we just had a moment. But no, but like I'm serious. If you really think about it, like it really wouldn't have to be like 50K for me. It would for 50K. Okay, so if you would do it for 50K, what would you do that would be like kind of extreme for 100?
I mean, I would have to be presented with this. Obviously, it would be double as gross as eating a spoonful of cereal out of a man's ass. I mean, it would have to be something with his penis at this point. I'm
You're
not.
like,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a case by case basis. We'll
Mhm.
cross that bridge when I come to it.
Okay. Okay. What about this?
Mhm.
How much for a man
Yeah.
would it take for you to get like a facial? Like, I love that face. I love. Well, because
Wow.
this is the thing. You're not having to touch the penis. You're not having to touch the butt. You're not having to touch anything. It's just come on your face. If you
Chat.
know they're clean. If you know they're clean and there's no STIs,
Right.
like,
Right.
how much,
Just.
guys, would it take you guys? And if there's any ladies in the room, how
Oh
much
yeah.
would it cost? Okay, for a girl to just stand over you and just squirt all over your face.
again, the disparity is so huge because I
Girl,
would pay for
girl,
that. I
boy,
love
boy.
that. I
Yeah.
love that. That's the disparity. Okay. My God. For a full-on facial, we're talking because I would have to disappear after that.
Really?
So yeah. I mean,
Really?
no one could possibly know, right? It just yeah, the idea makes me. I know the fact that I was asked that Ultron makes me kind of fucking mad. Ah!
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just there's not a lot of okay. Think about something that you could ask me that I like. It would cost me like $100,000 to do that.
But sexually, we've spoken. I know that you're down to do things with chicks and guys, but we're
Mhm.
talking about beyond sex. This is like
Yeah,
let's okay, fine. Let's play this game.
I might shock
I'll,
you.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you how much it is for a full facial. If you tell me this,
Yes.
we lay out a blue tarp.
Okay.
2 girls come and shit on the blue tarp.
Mhm.
They bring in a dog and they gag it, and the dog has to vomit. Then a midget comes and rolls in it. You have to then suck the midget's dick and swallow it. How
Oh, I
much?
can do that. I can do that.
I can do that.
That I no, okay, so I was solely anticipating you saying, like, I had to roll around it. I would roll around in it,
No, now you have to
but
suck the midget's dick
I
with the
wouldn't
shit, everything
put it
in.
in my mouth.
You have to a little bit.
If there was a condom involved, I would do it. But no condom, just, like, naked phallus, like, I couldn't. See, getting paid for sex an entrepreneur. There you go.
Talk
That's
to
what I'm
me.
talking about.
Okay, sis Mel, tell me your number, and I'll see if mine is a little bit off. I'm looking in the millions for this. I'm looking in the million for a man's
Really?
facial, probably topping $1 million.
That's so
Like,
simple to me,
like,
though.
yes, of course, you're a woman that enjoys it, and I would love for a girl to spray cum or squirt, whatever. We all know it's pee with a little bit of cum, so just do it right in my face, right in my face.
Mhm,
As long as there could be a row, there could be 100 girls, and they can come and squirt in my face, each of them in succession,
and you
with
wouldn't care.
no, just hand me some water to drink in the middle, and then there'll be some compensation for that. But I mean, I'm not
In the
gonna.
middle.
It's not as much as a dude fucking just going. Ha, 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 ha. First of all, how horrible! You never know when it's coming. Literally,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Cleaning an uncircumcised penis with your tongue. How much, Donna?
Oh god. Well,
Free.
I've dated people with an uncircumcised penis, so, I mean, I feel like I've cleaned probably a couple in my day. Um, but, like, knowing that it's dirty, I don't
What's
know,
up?
like 2, 3,000, millions of people, like, I'll pay for a cool million.
Dead.
That's small. I mean, hey,
Okay,
that's what I'm
fine.
saying.
All right, all right. You know what? Sure. Just a facial.
Yeah, just a facial, like, it doesn't have to go anywhere. You don't like, you can close your mouth hole. You can just wipe it off.
Oh God, I'm
Sploosh.
so I'm so mad that you fucking typed that. So upset at that.
Uh,
Sploosh. So yeah. You know what? Probably less than the. I don't know. I'd say about I don't know. 30K, and I'm with cis male, about $1 million to swallow because I ain't doing that's ridiculous.
yeah.
I've smelled mine, and I'm like, I'm never gonna. There's
All
nothing that it makes me want to be like, I can't wait for that guy to come in my cereal. You
yeah.
know?
No, that would be super easy to eat, honestly. I feel like having a shower now. You're welcome. Fuck a flat earther, how much?
Cuánto.
Do I have to listen to them talk about it? And will
Yes,
they
that's
listen
yeah.
to me talk about it?
They have to give you
Because
facts while you're doing it. They're like, fucking. Did you know the word? It's a dome. It's like that's bullshit. The sea just falls off the set. The space. It's so stupid.
um
I, I'd be dry as a bone if I was a chick getting fucked by a
but
flat
that's
earther.
okay, honestly. Okay, if somebody did that to me though, my dom side would kick in and I'd probably grab them by the throat and throw them down and be like, you know what? You go fall off your fucking flat ass earth because I'm gonna just walk right off the fucking like Just keep on going and keep on going,
I'm
darling.
gonna fuck you off the side of the world, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. I would turn into some like dirty thing. I feel like having a shower.
See, but that's what I think that's not fair because you always have like a coping mechanism, and you're like, you know what? I'll just chameleon myself into liking this, or you know what I'm saying? Or I'm
Well,
gonna
for
be
me,
like
I
waiting
mean,
for a guy to fucking finish on me, like, oh please God, no, please. You know?
oh my God, you poor thing. They got to eat some pineapple first. You know what? So like, yeah, no, that's probably a little too personal. So, but pineapple.
you just roll it next to us. You're like, no, next.
No, so there's something that I eat and I have no clue what it is that like my pheromone turns into like this incredibly sweet smell. Like, swear to God, it's so freaking strong. Like,
Really?
yes, and I have no clue what it is. But I need to
Ugh,
figure it out.
who can see the curvature of the horizon, you dirty bitch?
See, that would be me.
That's exactly the words I was looking for, MD. Thank you.
Well, like the song Pillow Talk by Little Dicky, the day it
Yeah.
came out, one of my best friends called me and she was like, "This is you. Listen to the entire fucking song, like all 10 minutes of it." And I did, and I laughed my ass off. And it's like part of like having to date me is having to listen to that song and understand that's what you're gonna get. Because if you tried to just have some level of like uneducated thing, um, I'm just gonna be like, bitch don't know about Pangea. Like just hands
Bitch.
down. Bitch don't know about Pangea.
I know that you think that I'm gonna forget about this and gloss over it, but I did mention that two chicks would shit on a tarp and you were fine with it. Were you gonna
I would
you
roll in it. I just would not suck the dick
you'd
unless
roll
there
in
was a condom
you'd
involved.
roll in shit?
I would roll in shit and the dog vomit, yeah. For
Brain for the
like
win. Fuck yeah.
20,000.
$40,000?
20.
20?
Mhm.
Okay. Damn, that's fucking you can do a lot. You can do a lot. Yeah, exactly.
2
Exactly.
girls, 1 cup.
How much two girls, one cup? I mean,
I can't eat
you
shit.
can't
Like
eat it.
I cannot put it in my mouth. Just like butthole stuff, like I gotta know that it's clean. Like I have to know that it's clean.
Okay.
Like
No,
period.
plus
Just
I would
like
gag. As they were making the cup, as the chick was like making the soft serve and handing it to me, I would already be vomited.
I
I'd
could just
already be
be over
vomited.
there
I would just be in a
making
corner like
myself puke.
we can talk about
Like, I can watch that. I can watch that 'cause so I actually have one person I've ever met in my entire life that's genuinely into scat. Like, genuinely into scat.
So what did you glean from that person? I wasn't
Um,
a meet a scat person.
I mean, it's super interesting, right? Because I, like, made a joke around them like I do most people, and, they were like, "Yeah, like, first time I actually realized I was into it," they had passed out at a party underneath a, like, glass top table, and a chick was walking over top of it, and they, like, sharted theirself, right? And so, like,
Oh,
droppings of it came down on the table, and they saw it, and they got turned on by it. And so, like, that kind of started their whole, like, ideology of, like, "Okay, maybe I'm actually into this." And they found somebody else that was into it, and they started discovering and exploring and found out that they are really, really, really into scat. Like, giving their partner enemas and yeah. I
so
cannot. That is my, like,
right,
big no, is, like, poop.
right,
But it's because you can get so sick by it.
right. But let's take that away. Let's just take that away. Let's pretend this person is a pristine poop virgin that doesn't have any bacteria in their poop and there's nothing that can happen. Just the smell and the texture alone. Yeah, I'm not thinking about diseases when I'm like, I'm thinking about how it smells and the texture of it, knowing that it would used to be, you know.
It it was once a cheeseburger that digested through the entire system of the body. So I'm gonna make him sick.
That was rough. That was fucking rough, Tanya.
You're an every oh my god.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so what was the so bottom line is I think that okay, so Roxanne and I and Shotgun Candy did a podcast one time about the topic
Mhm,
was weird addictions, right? And one person
mhm.
would eat like mattresses and like cushions and
Yeah.
shit, right? So the way that happened was I think there was a correct me if I'm wrong, Roxette, if you remember this, there was a car accident, and there was a piece like of the headrest, and she was in the back seat, and it was open, and she jolted forward, and she kind of ate a little bit of the foam, and she was like, "Say, this is delicious," you know. There's always got to be some kind of a traumatic accident. Like some people
Mhm.
like to pretend they're furniture, right? Or and that
No, I
and
know
that,
they do. I know it's a real thing.
and that happened because she would sit on her like aunt's lap as a kid, and she would like I don't
Mhm.
know, for some reason, she nothing sexual, but she just really felt like she was part of it, and that's having to sit on someone made her feel like she was for it, like, you know what I mean? It's the weirdest shit ever, but there's always like some kind of a traumatic like trigger where it's like, I didn't know I didn't like that.
Sorry, that was too loud.
Say, I love that.
Well, see, and that's, I mean, I guess that's why I kind of like developed some of like my weird kinks.
Ooh, there you go. And
Screwing
screw it.
everyone of an extreme hoarder's house, dead cats and all. How much? If I've got a mask,
Level 5 hoarding. We're talking about extreme dead cats, skeletons. There's only little pathways to stay.
if I have an N95 mask where I can't actually full face respirator, you give me a full face respirator. If we're in a relationship, I'll fuck you for free.
But then you get turned. But then, damn, then you get turned around in that bathroom with all the shitty diapers because the guy doesn't make it to the
That's
bathroom.
what's good. Respirator, full face respirator. I can do it any day.
Just right here, and all the fucking rats and cockroaches, all the kitty bones are crumbling under your under your hands while you're getting piped from the back. I like this.
No. I love how you guys are like really trying to throw me off and figure out like what is gonna make me be like, no.
No,
I
this
thought
is
poop.
things I think about. I'm glad we're
Pretty
doing it. You
normal.
know me. You know me.
Yeah, but like I mean, like that. No, I mean to
Question.
do it in like an extreme situation like that. I don't know, like a couple thousand. Most guys are gonna get off super quick anyway. It doesn't really like.
How much to go to a baseball game? Buy like a hot dog. Just take it to the bathroom real quick. Shoot a couple loads on the hot dog. You take it back to your seat and eat it.
Okay, hold on. Am I in a relationship with this person?
No, not me or anyone else. Yeah, an imaginary person.
Okay,
Yeah,
imaginary boyfriend.
Sure. Not a guy you met at the ballpark, but just a guy that. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I would try it. You know, like I don't know.
As much
Semen
as the
doesn't
hot
bother
dog.
me. Semen doesn't bother me. Like it occasionally might make me gag if it's like super super bleachy smelly. You know,
Ew.
but like. Look, I'm gonna tell you what, gentlemen, the ones who drink all the fucking energy drinks and like all the caffeinated beverages, like your shit smells like bleach.
Really?
Bad.
Is that
Yeah,
real?
like,
Is pineapple juice the real thing? Does that really work?
yeah, it does help to an extent. Honestly, if you cut out a lot of like sugar, yeah, so that's why I've always said like I like healthy people. You don't have to be like the fittest thing in the world, but like I like dad bods just hands down. I really do. But yeah, people that drink like excessive like energy drinks and stuff, bro, why are you coming in hot dogs? Because apparently hot dog is gonna eat them.
I was figuring out an intelligent way to figure out how she was going to eat semen in public, I guess, without like getting arrested. That would be a good way.
Okay, so like so the sugar-free energy drinks, the things that people have to understand about sugar-free stuff, like it doesn't have any natural sugars in it. So like you still have sugar. Like it's just the fake sugar. So like it's just as bad. Like it's just as bad. If you want your like semen to smell great, it is like natural sugars. So like actually like an equal balance of like vegetables and fruit. But like actual like real natural simple sugars.
Guys, we give not only are you laughing, we also give history, and you are also informed on what makes your cum taste good. So take our advice.
You're welcome.
Oh, come on. That's a bit much. Okay. How long has she been dead?
Yeah.
A couple minutes, maybe a day. Just until the rigor mortis starts setting in. I'm sure it'll make the pussy tight, though, right?
Necrophilia.
Make the pussy real tight if it gets rigor mortis.
Necrophilia would be like, I don't know. Like it's just the shell of a person. And like I couldn't do that to a body. Like that's just now there was a person in there, like a coma patient, I could do that.
Oh yeah.
hands down, coma patient.
Consensual.
Yes. Well,
If I ever was in a coma, you are allowed to rape me and make my penis hard by any. Like, how do you get it? How do you get them going? You think? How do you make that hard enough to sit on?
like a coma patient?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, are they on drugs? Because, like, well, there's a lot of like opioid drugs actually make the dick harder and last longer. Don't do that though. Don't take my advice on that because opioids are really
Allegedly.
bad. Um, opioids are really bad. Outside of like medical necessity. Um, yeah, I don't want like people trying to like become addicts out here because they want hard dicks that last longer. They make other medicines specifically for that.
Donna told me that oxys will make my dick hard.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't go buy street drugs. But no. Let's see, a coma patient. I mean, I don't know, like any typical way, like you could just
Yeah.
stick it in your mouth or just put like a shit ton of lube on it and just start playing with it. Like,
You think you'll come to? Like, you think you like through the
fuck
through
yeah.
the coma, into the world.
I promise you, a coma patient could come.
Trust me on this. A coma patient can come. Everyone, you heard it here first. Damn, that's beautiful. I just like that we went into that. It was a whole segment because it leads us right back into where we are, which is kind of different things you might not know to do, but maybe you might go home to your wife or husband and do this now after this talk. So, some things that are kind of obscure, pegging. That's a big thing now. People talk about pegging all the time.
Oh my God, I want to peg somebody so bad. Yeah.
Is that why you bought the dildo? Not to peg a girl, right?
Yes and no. But like, yeah. I kind of want to, okay, so like I want to peg a female first.
Okay.
And then, okay, so it's really hard for me. And I know this is going to come off as like extreme, like stereotypical, like sexism, but it's like I see men as very like masculine things. And even like whenever I'm having like more of like a dominant personality over a guy, like I don't feel like I'm demasculating them.
Okay.
I feel like they're just giving me a certain level of vulnerability. And there's still a part in my head that is really hard to kind of switch that off with like a male, like me being able to peg a male and not look at them differently. And so to me, I feel like with me pegging a female, it gives me like a greater sense of like I am masculine, like fuck you. But like,
Literally.
yeah, literally. But like with a male, to me, it would be more like intimate and sensual. And I would really have to, because I wouldn't want it to be like a demasculating thing. I wouldn't.
And that would also be a thing for me. Would be like, how are you going to look at me after that? After literally taking a dick. The thing that probably makes it a little better is that I've taken a dick from you, if we're in a relationship, right? And that, but I would also be worried about you fucking, I don't know, telling people one day. Like you almost have that. Yup, exactly.
I mean, you have to be like really comfortable with it, because like I know people that are into pegging and, and that's where I'm trying to get like with it. Like I've always wanted to like have that relationship with somebody where like that's a thing where I can do that with them. But at the same time, like it's like I really just want to do it with a female partner. And it's strange to me because I've always said like I'm bisexual. But when it comes to a female, I'm definitely like the more masculine role. Like for sure. But when it comes to like a male interaction, I always want to be more fucking wrong study.
Okay.
The Gladiators did. I mean, hell yeah. So it's like, but I need to have like that internal power struggle met, like for myself before I would ever do something like that. Like I've fingered a dude and, like that to me isn't bad. And so it's like, if I can do that, it's more of like, okay, I am pleasing you. So I feel like if I'm with somebody that they get pure enjoyment out of it, then it would be a different experience for me. But if it's like with somebody, they're like, I've always wanted to know how this feels, but like they got uncomfortable. Like I feel like that would make me feel really uncomfortable with myself.
Right.
And I don't know. So when it comes to pegging, I really want to do it to a female.
I mean, I understand that. So for me, right, the issue for me would be and I'm sure other kind of cis uh, males would feel the same way, right? Like heteronormative, right? You would have that over me. Like I have nothing that I would possibly say like, "Ha, she likes chicks." And sometimes, she's bisexual. Every guy would be like, "Sick, dude," like. And then, but me, it's like you would get into a fight, and suddenly you'd be like, "What, motherfucker? You want to tell everybody how I pegged you in your ass?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a little
How you
bit
took
different.
my dick.
It's a little bit different for us, and the level of trust is immense when it
Well,
comes to
and
that. I've given you something very special.
but I feel like but I feel like it also comes down to, like, a cultural thing too, because, like, think about it like this, because 'cause I've even thought about it like this. Could I be with somebody that, um, like, dresses, like a trans? Could I be with somebody that's, like, trans that, is, like, biologically, a male from birth, who, appears more feminine? Could I be with somebody that does drag? Because I'm gonna tell you what, I go to a lot of drag shows, and I
Mhm.
look at these, um, them, I guess, males, like, you know, um, in drag, and I am incredibly turned on. So it's like, I feel like maybe it's the whole, like, I couldn't peg somebody that looked like Hercules, but I could peg somebody that does, like, drag, or, like, was more, like, feminine, like, posing. Does that make sense? I'm trying to
Yes.
use,
Yeah.
like,
So
proper words so I'm not, like, offending, but at the same time,
totally.
I'm
I
not,
I
super educated in
I
that.
think we all understand that for sure. Well, so I met a person the other day, just be as vague as possible, and this person is a straight girl, and she went to a drag brunch, and she actually hooked up and like got a number from the waiter who had no shirt on. All the drag queens are out there doing their thing, but like all the waiters are gay. I live in Las Vegas,
Mhm.
and this one guy was like actually got the table with the chicks that was single, and he actually went outside, chased her, and said, "Hey, I really just wanted to get your number. I know it's kind of weird that I have no shirt on, and I work at a place where literally everyone's gay, but I'm not. Here's my
Oh,
number."
wow.
And they ended up like going out, and we went out with them, and yeah, it was just a cool story because from drag came cis relationships, so that's cool.
Really cool.
Yeah, let's see. What is you want to experience the sexual side of top male to a bottom female?
Yeah, essentially. Like, I feel like that's the ultimate power, right? And is to be able to, like, make a woman submit to me, being another woman.
You wanna be a you wanna be a power lipstick lesbian or like how about this? Would you spend the rest of your life with a woman?
Uh, I feel like I could if it was the right person.
Okay. You would never would that pose a problem later on because you need dick or what?
I don't know, like, I've genuinely thought about this because I am definitely, like, more, like, dick needy, you know? I've never been in, like, just an exclusive, like, sexual relationship with a woman. But it's like, but if I'm getting that, and even if there was, like, a certain level of, give on their end as well,
Mhm.
I feel like I could be okay with that. But I don't know at the same time because it's like, I really like dick.
Right,
So
so a girl like you that I know that we've spoken, and
mhm,
obviously I think at the end of this talk everybody realizes you like dick, but
yeah.
would it be okay to just, have an awesome the vampire bed with a dick machine and spend the rest of your life with a girl? If she's cool with that.
I mean, okay, so, like, I've never said never to anything. I'm pretty much open to everything. Poop is kind of my one thing where I'm like, fecal matter is like, like, that's really, it's very rare that I say no to anything. So to say, could I spend the rest of my life with a female? I could, like, very much so, if it was the right person. I've never found a female that I wanted that with. Um, I've met females that, like, I wanted to date or I wanted to do something sexual with or something like that, but, like, it was very much, like, short term. Um, and a lot of it has to do with, I love the way that men think. And I love the balance of like the male and female just bond.
The dichotomy of the male and female, like how they work
Yeah,
together.
like I really do enjoy it, but at the same time, it's like it's really just feminine and masculine energy, you know?
And
But with
and
me, I'm
because
a very like balanced, like feminine, masculine person. So I don't know, like very masculine men that are also very like emotional, like emotionally available. Because to
Mhm.
me, and this is a stereotype to change. Because it should not be that just because a man is emotional that it makes him like more feminine. You know, that's definitely like a it's definitely a judgment that has existed due to like cultural and media and stuff like that. Just because of how like most men are portrayed. Just like if you notice a single like chick flick movie, Marvel, anime, the male is always taller, the female is always shorter, like to a certain
Mhm.
degree. And it's like maybe that's where I've always had like my personal dichotomy of like the fact that, you know, I'm so tall. And it's like maybe that's why I've always been a masculine person. Um,
do you think you
because
had
I
to?
am like
Do you think,
masculine.
did, did you have to like accept some of those roles because you were maybe that was a little reversed, right? When maybe guys were a little intimidated by you. Does that is that where you maybe took on a little bit more masculine energy, or did you always have it?
Um, I've
Like,
always
is it
been the type
because
of
of your
person that
physicality,
like
or is it? I guess what I'm asking is like because of your physicality, or do you think you were born with that masculine energy? You know.
so I didn't really become like more of like a feminine person until I was like hyper feminine as a little girl. Um, I heartbeat.
Look, yeah. Even when I cry, I have that big dig energy.
So exactly. Um, but like when I was a little girl, you know, I was in ballet and tap and jazz and my hair was always done up and I always had makeup on and all this stuff. And then about the age of like 10 to 13, whenever I was becoming, you know, a young woman,
Hmm.
my mother would not let me wear makeup. She would not let me do like anything in my hair. Like hell, I barely brushed it. Like, and I was always like super tall and lanky. I didn't have any like curves or like the fact that I like somehow magically like popped out boobs and an ass and like big hips and a tiny waist. Like I don't even know how the hell that happened, honestly. It just magically existed.
Just in time.
Um yeah, just in time. I peaked. I peaked in my 20s. But you know, I didn't really start finding myself like more feminine because it was like I always identified more with like masculinity because I'm also super tall. I'm almost 6'2". And so like in high school, whenever they would need somebody to like move like 50-pound bricks or, you know, throw hay bales or whatever, you know, they would literally be like, hey, you're the person for the job. And so I was always competing against these other females that were like 5'2" and could throw it, you know, maybe 2 feet. And I'm like chucking it like 30 feet.
Right.
And I've always been able to build like better muscle tone and like super easy. And it's, I don't know. So it's like one day I woke up like in my mid 20s and I was like, well, it was late 20s. And I was like, holy shit, like I do have this body. Like I have a very feminine body, you
What'd you
know, and
do?
I'm
Lose the
walking
weight?
around in sweatpants and blue jeans and t-shirts half the time.
But how long
And it
did your mom have that influence on you? I mean, once you turned a certain age, it was like, did you turn into like you're like, look at me, like you know what I mean? Like, how long did it take you to turn into more of an extrovert?
um so I've always been like extroverted when it came to like conversations and things like that. You know, but it really took me being in my late 20s
Gotcha.
to really come out of my shell to the point to where I was like, well, and a lot of that comes down to like being raised so religious.
Hmm.
Um, you know, if anybody followed me in my stereo days, I talked a lot about how I got married really young due to like religious reasons predominantly, and how I saved myself for marriage. And, you know, I never cussed. I never said a cross word to my mom. Like, yeah, I was argumentative. I was a teenager, but like I never talked down to her like that. Like I would not refer to her. Like, even in my diary, I would not cuss. And I'm not trying to make this like, a personal diary of myself or a documentary about me. But I really hit like a super feminine state probably about like 27, 28. Now I'm like 33. And but it was like, pink was just so disgusting to me.
Right.
And now my room looks like it was, put together by Baby Spice. So,
So it was a whole cult. It was like a cultural shift. It wasn't even like
yeah,
you dress like girly now, and
I mean,
things are pink now. You don't mind.
like, yeah,
Got,
like
gotcha.
I wear like a lot of lace and I'm more like feminine, but like I always add my own personal flair. Like my bed, it's like this tufted, like thick comforter that's like pale pink, and I've got a giant octopus and
Nice.
like all these pretty little frilly pillows, and then I have one right in the middle that says fuck in cursive. Like
That's
it's
awesome.
beautiful, but it's me. Um so it's just I feel like I finally started finding like myself
Right.
and where I was comfortable like in that balance of like femininity and masculinity. Because I've always been the person that has like all these just strange eclectic traits. I can weld, I can do carpentry better than most men that I know. And it literally just comes naturally. I pick up a lot of things naturally. And but at the same time, it's like I've also been into like cross stitching and woodworking and like
But
but
it's
I
also has to do with your cultural like, region, like where you are, things like that. Like
Mhm.
it's not that some things are just like where
You're
I'm
like
from. That's awesome. See
fucking murder.
where I'm from, like nobody does that exactly. So I think that's a lot of region too. That's but I understand. Um yeah, I kind of just wanted to know like um where the lines are there because sometimes I've met girls that are into girls that they have to be a certain way. They can't be more masculine than me. I've also met beautiful girls that need a masculine woman. Like I'm talking about the cut off flannels with the and that's fantastic. But
Mhm.
cool for them. But what is that line? And sometimes when I meet someone like you who has maybe both sides of the equation a little bit, like can be a little open, what they could prefer because it's easy to say like, oh, well, I like everything, kind of, but
Mhm.
I know you prefer something, So I think everybody does, and a lot of people are just afraid to say what they prefer. So I'm
I
not saying you, but most
I
people.
prefer driven goal. Okay, so men, respectful, goal driven, and honestly, if you have a relationship with like a mother or a mother figure, or like just some elder that's been in your life, for X amount of years, having respect for like that type of person, no matter how aggravating or, whatever they are. Um, it says a lot about a person, how they treat other people that they are really close to, like people almost like you're like morally obligated to. Um, so that's like a big thing for me for males. Um, but also I like even though I'm the type of person, I'm super ambitious. I want to go for everything. Like if I set a financial goal, I'm going to hit it. And so I like somebody with that same level of energy. Um, but when it comes to a female, like I want that same level of energy, but I am into like the super like pretty high maintenance, but like natural. I love natural bodies. Give me stretch marks, give me, just all of that. I love natural. But I also like the females that look like Justin Bieber lookalikes, and I don't even find Justin Bieber
Really?
attractive. Yeah. I went to a drag show one time. It was the first time I ever saw a drag king. And oh my God. I literally was there with the guy I was dating at the time. And he got jealous because I was just hardcore, just staring at this person. And of course, they walked up to me afterwards and we started talking, and they could tell I was super into him. But I like lesbians who are taller than me, or bisexual women who are taller than me. Jiggles, wiggles, and scars. I love my ladies like a
That's my
good
shit.
novel. There you go.
Make
Yeah.
it jiggle. Oh yeah. I got to grab onto something. I'm Cuban.
Okay, so like, what's your thing?
My thing.
Mhm.
I think that you kind of nailed it. Jiggles, wiggles, scars, bullet holes, C-sections. I'm into it. No,
It's like C-sections cut.
it's more of it's sassiness. You know, we can't lie. I'm a boobs guy because I like the
Mhm.
whole presentation of this right here. So there's a nice shelf, right? It doesn't have to be like huge, but as long as there's something, and it's presented well, right? And hair uh, totally frames the face. I'm big into smiles and eyes, right? So it's that I can work with anything else. I can work with a little bit extra weight. I can work with what I can't work with is more the not understanding who the fuck I am fundamentally, and not
Mhm.
understanding that um, just because we're together, it means that we have to be connected at the hip at all times, or you don't understand that certain things I have to do on my own, right?
Yeah.
And I don't expect you to be excited about it, and that's totally fine. And I'll respect it when you want to do things like that. The biggest turn off is definitely jealousy, because I'm not jealous anymore. I used to be a whole lot,
Mhm.
and when I was, man, my life was really bad because it consumes you to a certain level. And if women just, I'm sorry, if men just knew, that looking jealous and looking that desperate, and that's the biggest turn off for a girl ever. And you want to see a dry puss, make a big stink, or make her fucking, like, where have you been? Worrying about every little thing. You know, the most sexiest thing is being able to go out and say, just go ahead. You need some money. You want to go on a trip? Sure. Let me know where you're going to be.
Mhm.
No disrespect, of course. I'm not telling you to go do whatever you want, but at the same time, the level of trust is awesome. And that's sexy to me. You know, now
No,
or before
I
I
would
had
give the same. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I would give that same advice to women.
just don't be. It's gross. It's gross, and like it's not fun, and nobody likes to be in that relationship. And there's never gonna. It's like, ugh. I've seen it. I've come in the room, and it's like, ugh. Nobody wants to feel like
Yeah.
that. That is the worst feeling in the world for a man. It's so emasculating, and it makes you feel like you can't do anything right. And it's
Mhm.
by that time it's really far gone. You have to almost
Well,
sort of
and I know something that I could hit on there is the fact that, like, and by the time you get, like, to our age, right, we've seen things, we've been through things, there's so many, like, traumas that exist, and the biggest thing to me is, even if you are having or thinking some level of jealousy, like, it's just mistrust that you have because of other relationships that you've been in. Like, there's been some level of trauma that has existed, and if you can take that and be honest with your partner and be like, "Hey, look, I'm feeling like this. I trust you. Like, I do. I trust you, but this is affecting me because of something that I've been through, but I just need to get it out, or I'm gonna be resentful, or I'm going to explode over something, and it shouldn't be this severe." And that to me opens up a whole nother level of, like, communication that needs to exist for a healthy relationship,
totally
because I definitely feel like you can heal with someone. Like, I feel like you have to do a lot of that healing on your own, sure, but, like, there's some things that no matter what level of therapy you go through or self-work you go through, you're not going to be able to face it until you are dead in front of it, experiencing it firsthand with a new partner. And that is also probably one of the most attractive things, is somebody that can accurately communicate. And even if they have that moment where they're like, they mess up or they're not being fully understanding, like coming back and just being like, look, like, I did this and I'm sorry, I could have handled that better.
right.
Like, that is just so beautiful. And I know we have gotten off of erotica, and I love this about us.
Yeah. No, and
Um,
we're actually, we're going to come to. We have about 20 minutes left on what we literally set aside for time. Is that good for you?
yeah, we can do
Cool.
20 minutes.
Awesome. So I'm glad we did too. And I knew that was going to happen just because we have more to talk about other than just nasty, freaky sex toys and shit like that. But it's a great jump off. And eventually, you get into the more hard hitting stuff, but it's It's fun because
Yeah.
people need to know this as well. It's a part of it. After the sex and after the coming and all that shit, guess what happens? You got to talk to them.
Emotional.
You got to talk to
You gotta talk to
you
'em.
can't just you have to actually be in a relationship after that if you want. If you're just in a big fat orgy, sweet, just grab your keys, make sure to wash your ass and get out of there.
Well, and the thing that I heard this the other day, and it kind of like really hit home with me. It says that a woman after sex has such an insane amount of dopamine that releases. It is actually impossible for her not to be emotionally connected to the partner. Whereas a man, whenever they have such a low dose of dopamine that actually, I'm just pillow talking with a bitch.
Just pillow talking with a bitch, yo.
That's part of a little dicky. Anyway,
that's it.
I'm just
That's what I'm saying. After that, I wasn't kidding. I said it in a funny way, but like after you have sex, that's like a huge part of it, but that's not all of it. And you learn that after you get these grays, you know.
That silver fox going on.
If you really don't like each other, man, and you get to that point and you have nothing to talk about, nothing stimulates. I mean, it's probably time to assess the situation. It should be seamless right after sex. It should be like we are laughing and having a good time, you know.
Or like, hey, you wanna turn on Jeopardy?
Yeah, I'll fucking beat you at it and just be like a trivia whore.
That's
I'm also a trivia whore.
Oh my god,
I need to get fucked by trivia too. So
yeah. See, that's my spouse. He is like we spend time playing trivia games together.
Mhm.
And there was one night I'd wholeheartedly anticipated us like sleeping together, right? And instead we stayed up for 3 hours playing trivia games until we literally just passed out asleep on each other. And I woke up the next morning so happy.
That's awesome.
Because it was like that was so much more of like a dopamine feed than that. Oh yeah. So to finish, so women after sex become so emotionally attached because of the high level of dopamine. Males predominantly do not become attached.
Yep.
It's more equivalent of them like eating their favorite meal. You know, they're like, oh, I'm craving Chinese food. They get a little bit of Chinese food in their system and they're good for a little bit.
We're good.
Yeah.
It's
Whereas
called
women,
post-nut clarity.
we need more. Speaking of, I really want to go get Chinese food now, and they're all closed and way too far away from me.
Category history for a blowjob. History of a blowjob, Trebek. It's called pegging.
It's called pegging.
It's called pegging, Alex Trebek.
Pegging.
So
deep with Donna.
Let's finish up with this page, just because
you pulled up pegging
touch upon this, and I think it's going to take us right.
Attachment.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad we did that because
for sure,
that's important too. We're not just sex bots. We actually have feelings. Beep
we
boop.
Do.
Beep boop. I want to have sex. So, what do we have? So we talked about pegging. There's analingus, which is
we talked about the cereal
oral sex, right? We did that, right? So I think we're down to ball busting.
Okay.
If we don't, do you know what ball busting is?
I mean, I can read it, but yeah, that's like extreme like pressure to the ball sack area, right?
People pay good ass money to get their balls squashed by a 9-inch stiletto heel.
I was about to say, you want to? I have stiletto heels.
No. Oh God, hold on. Sorry, I hit the space bar for some fucking.
I would do that.
You would do that. I mean, I know. Oh yeah. I mean,
ruptured.
We've talked about tarps already. Oh, well, blood though. Like that's just blood is coming, and there's gonna be blood out of the urethra too. It's disgusting.
Do you know that if you blow into a penis, you can actually create for an air pocket to form inside of the like testicle wall or something, and it creates instant like pain that is supposed to be equivalent to actually giving birth.
Is that right?
And it does not go away until you have emergency surgery.
Wow.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a hole in your mouth, don't blow in it.
Happens a lot in Vegas. I'm sure people are like, there's high rollers coming in from wherever, and they get swept into the casino from their airplane, and then they call the hookers, and that's like, it's a super important VIP, and they're like, okay, Mr. So-and-so, what he wants you to do is he wants you to get your 9-inch stiletto, make sure you and stomp it good, make sure there's blood. Could you imagine?
I mean, I would do it. If there was blood involved, I would have to be paid a little more. But like, blood doesn't bothered me. But like, if I'm gonna do that amount of pain to somebody, Like, I would want a consent form signed, and I would also just feel bad, and so which is kinda weird that I wouldn't want more compensation for myself feeling bad, but
Right.
it's like
And I'm
emotional
charging
damage.
50,000, you're charging what, 12?
Oh, for ball busting?
No, for ball, yeah, those are old numbers. These are ball busting
Okay.
numbers. I do it for like $500.
Yeah, I was about to say that, like, 500.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, 500, I could do
Yeah.
it for sure.
Can I take the 9-inch stiletto off and just bash it instead of stepping?
Oh my god. Could you do it to a woman, though?
What?
Could you, like, hit a woman in the vagina with a stiletto shoe?
No, I it's such a place of wonder and beauty. Why would I wanna massacre it, you know? Um,
How much money for that?
I don't know, $20.
Hey, 20 bucks is 20 bucks, right?
I don't know, $20. Uh,
Where we
D
at?
we know about DP. Cuckold. Have you been a part of a
A cuckold? No, I've never been a part of a cuckold. I've been
yeah,
invited to them.
as the person that watch well, of course, right? Because your husband wouldn't be a part of it. You would be doing it for a couple?
Well, as I say, I'm not really into voyeurism type stuff. A cunt
Cunt
punch. I actually love. I've told many people I would cunt punch them. So it's actually pretty funny. What in the hell is this? Is this the electro stimulation? Oh, I've seen one of these devices. Sorry, I know I'm like getting a hold of
No, it's
myself.
fine. Pick which one you like.
I thought it was
Stim.
the little water pick they put in your mouth at the dentist office.
Right. That's where they got it from. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? We can make this a sex thing.
Yeah, we can make it electric.
You know
It's
what? You know what?
electric.
You know what girls need? Electricity in their pussy.
Yeah. I think it would actually kind of feel good. I feel like you would
Personally.
have to be the person like is into like hot wax.
Is it like a little Tesla coil that like has the electroshock like to the clitoris? It just goes.
I don't know. I have seen them turn on. I watched them in like a documentary the other day.
By now.
The Electrosex Twilight High Frequency Violet Wand Kit.
4 unique glass electrodes that install easily in the electrical base. Incredibly easy to use for your unique sensual play for all experience levels. Isn't that wonderful?
Fisting.
They have
Okay.
several. They have several. The original Tazapper,
To Zapper.
Kink Lab, Neon Wand.
Nice.
These are things, guys.
I got
Are you kidding me? That's awesome. I've learned so much with you.
There you go. Yeah. Fist. Oh. Okay. So I actually know somebody that's super into fisting, and I think it is so strange. Like, I want my girl to stay put for as long as humanly possible. So it's like, I can't get behind fisting. And honestly, there's no amount of money that I would allow like somebody to pay me to fist me.
I've seen that, and I asked the same. I've been wanting to speak to a girl that has an experience with it, just because I want to know. It can happen from one day to the next. It has to be like opened after a long time, because 2 fists is like my organs are inside of me there. It's beyond
So
me. I have no words for this.
this is a little personal. But I gave birth one time that did not go well. It was like an emergency situation. And they had me up on the bed like this. Like my head was down here and my ass was up in the air and my feet were like up here. Like they literally tilted the bed.
Okay.
And it's called manual stimulation, and it's something they do to like an internal baby
Okay.
where the sac is already ruptured, and they stimulate the head to try to keep like the heart rate up. And yeah, my kid's father straight up was like afterwards, after our child was born and all that, um we went and checked on him, and we were sitting there in the room afterwards, and he looked at me and he said, "That bitch fisted you."
What?
Like straight up had her, I didn't know,
What?
had her hand inside of my vagina, like rubbing our child's head, trying to stimulate. I had no idea.
Did that cost extra?
Right? It's like I got fisted. So like I was fisted,
That bitch buy you a
like
drink?
for emergency medical purposes. Um Yeah, and then I looked it up because I was incredibly curious, and it's literally called manual stimulation, and it's a way that nurses can keep babies alive in like extreme circumstances. But I asked one of the
Wow.
nurses on shift the next day, I was like, how is that even possible?
Unreal.
Like, I know that I can barely even take like I know what I can take. So how the
Right,
fuck did
right.
I take that, you know?
I
And
imagine it's just dilated enough at that point in
yeah.
your pregnancy, but
So
even then, like, a whole fist is like 3 fingers, I've broken someone. They've been like, "Oh god,"
right, that's what I'm
like,
saying.
"Are you kidding me?"
Like my yeah. Um so it was a lot to like accept and take in, and I was honestly like super embarrassed about it for a while. This is probably the first time I've ever like publicly spoke on it. Um but I did. I asked the head shift nurse the next day and I was like, how is this possible? And they said because like I was already 10 centimeters dilated.
Okay.
Like the head was so far down to the opening that it was already like spreading to allow for the head passage. And so that's what they were doing was trying to stimulate the head and like rotate around it to like open the cervix up more to actually push out the head fully. Yeah, so I was fisted to give birth to a child.
And at that point, you didn't have any did you have any feeling down there, or
No, I mean, I didn't feel it. Like,
no?
I didn't feel any I mean, it was a lot of pain,
Sure.
but, like, that was, like, internally, like, in
The
my
actual
abdomen.
yeah. And to think that,
So,
I'd be, like, shook. I'd be like, "Dude, somebody's fucking whole ass hand was in my side, my into, like, my stomach." That's rough.
I wish I could have recorded, the reaction
No.
because,
Oh, the
like,
reaction.
he literally just stared at me with, like, huge eyes, and it was like it hit him. Like, everything had calmed down. It was a few hours, like, we made sure our kid was okay, and he just stared at me, and he was just like, "That bitch fisted you." And I was like, "No, she didn't." Yeah, she did, and that's whenever I asked the nurse, I was like, "Did this happen?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's called this, and we did this," and I straight up pulled up my phone and started Googling. Like, it's like, I need to know what the fuck they did to me without consent, you know?
That is unreal.
Definitely felt violated. So what
What
is monophilia?
oh. Oh, okay. So that apparently, I'm learning along with you. It says the messy act that involves, oral sex with a woman's period, so that doesn't seem too bad.
No.
It's happened before. That's happened before. What's the let's see if
Kin?
tickling, it's,
Kin?
that's alright. Forced orgasm seems interesting.
Mm.
An offshoot of consensual non-consent, where this is one partner gets off over and over again beyond the point of when it starts to feel super sensitive in the hands of their more dominant partner, because after one or two more times, it's even the most multi-orgasmic person might succumb to oversensitivity. It's often mixed with BDSM and power play. Okay, so there
Forced
you go.
orgasms are probably one of my favorite things in the world.
It's so sensitive, right? It's like I've, I've seen it where it's like,
I
stop
love
touching
them.
me, get away from me. I'm gonna die, right?
Yeah, but it's like you have to, like, push through it. Pegging.
All
Yeah.
about it. All about it. Are you
Mhm.
also
That's my thing.
wanting to peg? Wanting to peg. It seems like it's exploded lately. Like, this is always a thing, but it never had like a word where it's
I
like
feel like people
it's
I feel
in the
like predators
culture.
are just coming out. Yeah, I think it's just the culture change, you know, we're watching it shift in front of our eyes, literally,
Mhm.
with there being, you know, so many different things that are being popular now. Like, you know, there's OnlyFans and there's different other, networks
Right,
where it's
exactly.
not as taboo.
That's right. I mean, think that things are really, really opening up when it comes to that. But at the same time, there's voices on, like we said earlier, voices on every side where it feels almost super repressed, like we're back in some weird time and we went like circular, or some at times it's like, oh, you can do anything. It's so free. But I think we're at a crossroads here where it's also the division that we're at. Where people just don't feel like they know their neighbor or understand them.
Well, I feel
Um,
like
it doesn't shouldn't matter if I whatever you want to use in your bedroom, that's totally fine.
exactly. Well, and it really comes down to, you know, like, just not being overly, judgmental, and, you know, it's none of your business. You know, like, genuinely, it's not somebody's business what I do. Even if I wanna put it on social media, that doesn't make it their business. it means that I'm, like trying to put something out there, or you're trying to put something out there, or whoever the hell is doing it is trying to just put something out there.
Right.
Maybe they're overcoming, self-consciousness, but it's just like, consent. Like somebody thinking that, oh, because she dresses like this, she must be a whore. Or, a guy that say always wears like a hoodie and sweatpants, like, oh, he must be self-conscious. Like,
Right.
it's maybe he just likes to be comfortable. Maybe she went through something incredibly traumatic and now she just wants to feel free.
Or just not be looked at,
Yeah.
like in that way, because it's got to be really hard for girls to get dressed and look pretty and all that kind of stuff, and then be treated like shit. Like, say, when you go out, uh, or get hit on constantly, and know that you're a sexual object every single
Right.
place you go. And hey, I love chicks, but I'm not that feminist dude, but still, it's got to be hard when you're catcalled, and it's just things that don't happen to men. And we think about it all the time. It's like, how do you guys deal with it? You know,
Um, so like a lot of the similar, I won't say everyone, because I don't live in like all or nevers, but like most of the time if somebody hits on you and you politely, just let it slide, or you just kind of, casually say something back, and you're not giving them what they want, they get rude.
yeah,
Like that is the majority of it. They do.
right,
They get
right.
rude.
Oh,
Oh,
bitch,
you're a
I
fat
don't
bitch
want you
anyway.
anymore. Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's it's like, wow, weren't you just the one that was, like doing that to me? And I'm gonna be honest with you. Apparently I come across as like incredibly intimidating in person.
Is
So
it the voice or the size or
probably all the above.
how sex forward you are? It could be
Yeah.
all of those things.
Well,
Some people everywhere, but sometimes when you're in, I don't know, places that are not exposed to that all the time, like somebody
mhm.
who's like a girl that's sex forward, it's pretty. I've seen that where it's like, whoa, where'd you come from?
Well, I know, like whenever I would go out with my girlfriends, a lot of times I was like always like the DD, or I'd always take
Right.
the position of being like, the mom. And um there was always like these specific one or two friends of mine that would always get drinks brought into the table, or somebody would always, cater to them and pay them a lot of attention. And there was sometimes I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, why not me? And I asked one of my guy friends about it one night because he was like, "What's up with you?" And I was like, I was like, it doesn't bother me because like I don't want the additional attention. I was like, but I don't understand. Like like it happens, but it's so much more rare for somebody to like come up to me, whereas like this specific friend could get 15 shots bought for her within like a 2-hour period of time.
But then what does it cost her? This is a transaction always, and that's what I mean. It's horrible with men.
Well,
So, if
this
I
is what I was told was that and I hope this is not true. And ladies, if it is you, reevaluate your life. Um, but literally, what I was told was that women who have drinks consistently bought for them is because the men are not going to waste their time on the ones they don't think they can take home at the end of the night.
right,
And they were like, "You are not the one somebody can just take home." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's a fair point."
yeah,
Like,
that makes a lot of sense because
yeah.
statistically, you have you're incredibly intelligent. You know what's happening. Some chicks are
Mhm.
just get way too drunk, just don't you know
Sloppy.
sloppy, and then you know exactly what's going on, and you can see the patterns of the guys and the guys talking. We're idiots. We're just a bunch of
Yeah.
apes, like figuring out how to fuck. Um, it's true. It's true.
I mean, yeah.
But I saw something on social media. I think it was yesterday or last night,
Mhm.
where some guy goes. It was a meme, and the girl's like, "Oh God, I'm so cold." The girl's super cold, and she's like, the guy offers him a jacket, and she's like writing in like her mind. It's like, I would have taken it if he was cuter,
Mm-mm.
But then some people were like, but see, like defending her, saying, "Well, if you don't know what it's like to be a girl, because if he takes the jacket, then that leads to him being able to open something else. So if she's not even interested, then don't take the jacket so he doesn't mislead the guy thinking
Okay.
that he wants to talk, right?"
Okay. We could do an entire like cast on this. So I will tell you that is that person's fear, okay, because of past experiences. So I always try to leave an open mind when it comes to things like that. So just because, say, I've accepted like that quote unquote help from someone or like that kindness from someone, and it's led to them being a jerk, like in that instance, I'm going to take that off my body, give it back to them and say I'm sorry, but like my kindness doesn't come with expectations. And that is that's also probably why people don't approach me at bars. So
I mean, but that's a good thing, maybe.
but no, I feel like it is a good thing, which I make it like a solemn vow whenever if I am single, I will never take someone home from a bar that I've ever met. I met a really, really, really great guy one night and really jived with him, and he was like, "Cool, like, can I have your number?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Why?" I was like, "That's a long story that I'm not gonna explain to you, but maybe if we hit each other up, like, outside somewhere, like, we'll just if it's fate, we'll run into each other again." And we never did. It happened, like, a decade ago.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. I
but
mean,
I refuse to.
right.
Um, Absolutely refuse to hook up with
for
people
s- for
that
some
hang out.
for some girls nowadays, I guess, or maybe I don't know, maybe it was a long time coming where this is something that girls figured out between themselves. Is like, hey, it's you'd rather be cold. I get it. Like, sister, just be
Mhm.
cold. Don't open that door because if he's not something that you ultimately want to talk to at all, because he's not your type. And then people are saying, well, what if he becomes your type because he's really cool and maybe he's the guy of your dreams? But like, well, we're saying physically, I don't like the guy. There's no way I could be with this person. I don't want to date him in any scenario.
That frustrates me.
Therefore, I'm gonna be cold. So I kind of see both sides, but it's kind of a bitchy way to go. But the guys just ultimately what the guy's doing is just giving the jacket because the girl's cold. But also, we want to fuck them.
Well, okay. Well, to be fair, I've established this with most of my guy friends at this point. Like it's not like if I just walked up to them and was like, "Hey, let's have sex," they would be like, "No, like what the fuck is going on with you?" Because they know me. But like,
But 2 more
if,
sentences after that, you say, "Yeah, but I feel kinda horny and I've always wanted to, and I promise you there might be a chance."
yeah,
With
exactly.
I'm
So
telling you.
like, so I feel like there would be some hesitation because they'd be like, "What's the catch?"
Right.
But
Are there
like,
am I on fucking
for
punked right
sure,
now? Right.
exactly.
Your husband's
But,
coming out of that room, isn't he?
but like, you know, but the how do I put that? I would take the jacket, whether a friend or a beau or whatever. I would take the jacket because, I've had more good experiences with people in doing things like that for me. But I've also taken off my hoodie and handed it to other guys, and been like, hey, like you're cold,
Sure.
like take this. And it's to me, it's a kind gesture. But I think it also says a lot about like how I was raised and maybe the influences that I've allowed to bother me and not bother me, like the things that I've grown from and the things that I
Mhm.
haven't.
Right.
Like I can understand from like a predominant like female perspective how that could be worrisome or bothersome or why like it was so thought out. um
It's just a lot of years of the same thing, I'm sure, like, there's just forums and things like that, like, saying, like, "Hey," maybe some are bitches, but other people are just like, "Hey, for your safety, man, and you don't want
but
anything to do with this, maybe you shouldn't."
but at the same time, like I feel like that's a fear that needs to be processed out of the person. Like I feel like at that point, like what is it saying about you? Like, do you have so many experiences with bad more than good? Like at that point, you need to go take a boundaries class and do better with your life. You need to try to inner focus like on yourself instead of other people. Like if you are literally looking at somebody that is just trying to make a genuine gesture and you do not have the willpower to tell them yes or no, like that's a you problem. And that's something that like you can solve, like you can get to the bottom of. Um don't get me wrong, like, I'm not gonna take a drink from somebody that I don't know,
Yeah.
like, "Hey, here's a bottle of water." "No, good." Like, "I'm good, thank you." But, like, to me, that's that was inputted, in us from, like, a small age of stranger danger.
Mhm.
Whereas, like,
Sure.
a jacket is supposed to be more of, like, a kind gesture. I feel like the person's treating it as, like, they're accepting a date instead of just a kind gesture, you know? So that kinda bothers me a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a cool thing to check out the thread on that, and that's why I love social media and scrolling sometimes because you get to see a lot of different perspectives on sex, on relationships, the girl's perspective. Girls saying, "Hey, In the beginning, you look like a dick. Like, man, why would you do that? But at the same time, when you see the girl's side, you're like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
I kind of get that because not everybody's like me. Not everybody's going to be like, hi, my name is AC, and I'd like to meet you. Can I buy you a drink? If you and you said no, I'd be like, great, have an awesome night. Other people want to wear your skin as a trophy. You know,
Yeah.
I'm the best case scenario you're going to meet.
But
Other
you
people,
also
you know,
but you don't know somebody's true intentions until you give them the opportunity,
right?
and some people are really good at hiding that intention. Trust me, I've had my fair share.
I bet. Well,
Um,
that's another thing. Men see a girl like you who's sex forward, hypersexual, not afraid to be who they are, beautiful and all that, and then
Thank
they
you.
think that on like immediately they're gonna think I can touch her, right? Or I can like approach you. I can talk to you differently. You don't need to be like courted like a normal girl. You know what I'm saying? Like I know because I've always been boisterous and say whatever, so people think that they can. Fuck people. Chicks come up and touch my. They used to just come up and touch my beard. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like put
Mhm.
off. Like just because I talk a certain way or I'm a little bit different than what you think you've heard before doesn't mean that you can touch me or you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Do you get that? Like people just like you're like whoa.
People don't touch me. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I really feel like maybe that dominance, like, kind of outshines. Um, I don't know. I kind of be interested now. Like, I want to take a census of people that have hung around
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Um, but I definitely have like more of a domineering personality. And so, but I'm also like lighthearted and smiley and happy,
yep.
and so I don't know. Maybe I just give off like mm, I've been told that my personality can be somewhat clinical. Like, even though I, like, laugh and, carry on and cut up and whatnot, it's like, if somebody approaches me and they can't have a deep level conversation, I don't want it.
There you go. There you go.
Like, I do not want it, even, like, casually. Like, if I'm sitting there and I'm just, like, eyeballing a friend of mine and I'm just trying to, like, keep an eye on them, and somebody walks up to me and just, "Hey, how's it going?"
Right.
I don't know, looks like I'm standing right here doing the same thing you're
Wow.
doing, like, "How is
Wow.
it going?" Like,
Better
that's
come
typically me.
correct,
They
bro.
get some level of sarcasm.
Right. You
Yeah,
don't talk to me, you better come correct. It's a little bit better than
exactly.
hello. How's the weather? We're not gonna talk
Just
about the weather.
come up
I
and
can
be
see
like, "Have you ever seen that steampunk thrusting dildo?" Like,
it.
I would
1880s.
really
Picture it. Picture it. It's made of steam. It's got a bike chain on it. It's gonna fuck the shit out of you. It's got a fucking 8-inch red studded dildo on it where you're gonna you're gonna love it.
honestly, if a stranger came up to me and, like, addressed me like that, I would giggle and I would talk to them.
So two ways that can go. You have the balls to do both. One, you're gonna call the cops on me and smack me and be like, I was just assaulted, or you're gonna meet your dream person, which is,
Mhm.
you know, the latter.
I'm very much that way. Well, just like, one of my long-term relationships, we literally got together because I was at a Halloween party, and oh god, I made my own costume. I was so proud of this thing. I was like a sexy Marie Antoinette. I kept a British accent the entire night.
Oh,
It was amazing. I had this blonde stripper wig on that it was, like, down and, like, all sexy and shit. I looked like a new age Marie Antoinette. It was
mhm,
gorgeous.
mhm.
But underneath at the time, I had jet black hair with a bright red peekaboo
Wow.
underneath, and I had long hair. It was awesome. It was the tits. And, but anyway, I called all these people and invited them over to my friend's house. We were having a big party, and, I couldn't drink because I had to go to work the next morning, like, super early. And I told my friend, like, "Hey, I'll suffer through, like, only getting, like, 3 hours of sleep. I'll watch you. We'll go back to my place. We'll sleep it off. But I gotta get up and go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, like, I gotta be responsible, whatever." So, this other person shows up, and he is also not drinking. He's the only other person not drinking or partaking in something that's going on there. And we sit down and we're just talking, and he was, like, a really interesting person to talk to. And we started talking about what we do for work, and he tells me he's a tattoo artist, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah." I was like, "Well, here." And so I go to the kitchen drawer of this person's house and go get, a Sharpie.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Don't do anything too crazy." I was like, "But here." I was like, "Have my forearm." And so I lay my forearm on his leg, and the whole time I'm just talking and talking, and he's, engaging and whatever. And my alarm went off, and I went and gathered my friend up, and I went in the other room and like I changed clothes and I came out. My hair was down, like I was dressed in like shorts and a t-shirt, and I came walking out of the bathroom, and this guy was like, "Who the fuck are you? Like, where'd you come from?" And I looked at him and I was like, "I don't know. Where the fuck did I come from? I'm pretty sure I just came from that way." And he was like, "Well, you gotta be a smartass." And I was like, "Oh, really, do? I'm pretty sure I can be whatever the fuck I want to be."
Yeah.
And
blew his mind.
yeah, he was like, "Holy shit, that was you?" And I was like, "Yeah,
I'd have
yeah, that
met the
was me."
devil.
Yeah, and he was like, "Your hair is badass." And I was like, "Cool, thanks." And he was like, "Do you see that tattoo yet?" And I was like, "No, I actually haven't looked. Like, I completely forgot he had drawn on me." And I looked down, and it was a giant penis. Giant penis on my arm, like hair, everything, like super detailed giant penis in Sharpie. And I had to go to work the next day, and it was like still really hot outside.
Predominantly on your fucking arm.
Like literally wrist to elbow, just giant dick.
Fuck yeah.
And the same day, like 2 weeks later, that I went back to that friend's house and was like, "Hey, who was that guy?" You know, like I could not stop thinking about him. And I was like, "Who the fuck was he?" And they were like, "Oh, he's so and so's roommate. Actually, he came by here a couple days ago wanting your number, and we told him no."
Oh
And I was
shit.
like, "Oh yeah." So
God
I got
damn it.
his number, and that's how we started talking. And we were together for 8 years and had 2 kids.
Oh shit. Okay, so
Mhm.
that was an
Yeah.
origin story of your ex.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
origin story of my baby daddy.
It's pretty
It's
badass though.
literally what he prefers to be called too, and we're literally best friends now. Like, we're not together anymore. We couldn't be together. Like, that's a whole 'nother story in itself, but
Yeah, that's we're gonna do a 5-parter.
a five-parter
Start off with a lot of heavy sex talk and looking at things, and then pivot off into relationships.
into relationships.
How to
But
keep
no,
this person you just fucked.
right. But, you know, it's just one of those situations. We're better off as friends. But yeah. So, see, there you go. I kinda tied erotica into that. He drew a giant penis on my arm.
Yeah, and he also
Trying to
probably had
seduce
pretty
me.
good sex.
What?
Right? Yeah, you also probably had pretty good sex with the guy too, right?
I mean, it wasn't bad. I won't,
Okay.
like, yeah, it wasn't bad. It was enough for, I guess, to keep me around for 8 years, but it wasn't enough to, like,
And a
make me
couple kids.
enjoy as crazy.
I got you.
So, yeah,
Okay. Well, just enough. You did just enough, bud. Thanks for your
just enough.
service.
Mhm.
Well, I think that's our time for tonight. But we went over because we have a lot to talk about. I told you. What did I tell you? We had 4,000 hours of content.
I really do. I swear to God, people.
We went
Come
through
back, well,
like 3
actually,
pages. I think we went through of the
yeah.
of the 19. So, but yeah, we can do this again. We can talk about this in several parts, and I want to continue because we didn't even get to Rome.
We didn't even get
There's still
Rome or the 50s or, like, all
repression
the
or the
pinup
religion.
girls or,
Yep.
like, the ooh, guys, we've got some spicy videos for you.
Yeah. So down there on the scroll bar, if you are watching live or if you're watching 5 years in the future, Hot Donna is available at that IG right there. If you want to take a look at that, right? And then is that anywhere else you can check her out?
Lord, you can literally check me out anywhere at X. Yeah, it's literally how to find me anywhere. Just the
Cool.
letter
Yeah,
X, Hot Donna X.
I figured. Guys, thank you for being here. It was really nice to meet you, Ultron. Without you, man, I was in stitches. Thank you so much for all those incredible comments and cease to know and Big Mixoplex, what's going on? I see you guys. I see everyone. Thank you for the voice messages. And like I said, this along with my friend Mixoplex, we'll do a couple parts of different types of religion. Hot Donna is our sex person. Sex person.
Mhm.
So we'll be able to and religion and sex and relationship person. So we can totally do this in a couple of parts, learn some stuff about sex and as well as whatever you guys want to talk about.
Maybe we'll actually get down to, like, the psychology of sex. I may not be a licensed therapist yet, but we can still talk about the
Yeah.
psychology of sex.
Yeah, History of Sex Part 2 in a couple of weeks. Check that out. I also have a couple other guests coming on that might not do series types things, but others to check out. So check out IG and check out my link tree on YouTube, and that has everything. You can go from anywhere. You want to hear me do a drum and bass DJ set? You want to see me talk to Hot Donna? You can do it. So
Do it all.
yeah, we'll catch up with you soon. Hot Donna, anything you wanna say parting?
Mm. Do you, boo boo. It's, like, my favorite thing to say to people.
Fuck yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck yeah,
Be
Dad.
kind. Be
Be
kind
kind.
to each other, and have some understanding and empathy and sympathy a little bit when you walk around. And next week we'll roast some other shit. And
Right.
we'll see you soon, Donna.
Touche.
Thank you, my love.
Bye.
All the best. Peace.